Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are you got to be doing well, right? Especially if you're a part of the Dolphin Nation. You're definitely doing well right now. Life is beautiful. 6-3. You go to work with a little pep in your step today. Love it. Love it. Aren't you feeling good? Aren't you feeling as good as this logo looks? What do I have here? Little lint. Gotta get that lint off the cap. Can't allow any lint on this beautiful logo and cap, as you all know. Anyway, welcome aboard. I'm a little too. I think we're gonna have to adjust this camera a little bit here. Let's see. Now we're talking. That's a little better. There we go. All right. There we go. You ready, Alarmo? Alarmo is ready to go. I am ready to go. I hope you are ready to go on a beautiful Victory Monday. Smash the hell out of the like button. Feeling good. We got the Browns this week now. Dolphins, by the way, already favored over the Browns by 4 points going into that game. So we will see how things turn out with Jabroni Brisket coming to town. Ohio John already chiming in with a little Venmo love. I see there. Thank you. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And thank you yesterday, as a few people made donations in Bitcoin, which, we love the Bitcoin donations on Cash App, but he got us on Venmo here. And Ohio John says, great environment at Soldier Field yesterday. Best part was where all the Bears fans talk about how many Fins fans showed up. Saw the highlight replayed on TV, and I have to be honest, seeing Fields hit full speed doesn't translate on TV. Dude can fly, I know. He's like 6'3", 6'4", runs like a deer. And, I tried to explain that because somehow or another, we have elitist Dolphin fans. Back in the 70s, you could be an elitist. Team was dominant. They won. You know, you were usually better than everybody else. So I get it. In the 80s, you got Marino, and you pretty much had a winning record practically every year. You had a shot every week, played well at home. You can develop a little bit of an elitist attitude to it, right? Even though you didn't win a title, but you won a lot of games and you went to playoffs several times with Marino. Where's the elitist Dolphin fan coming from right now? Where's the elitist Dolphin fan that's supposed to think that you're supposed to have a perfect defense and a perfect offense and a perfect coach and a perfect team? That was in the 70s. It's not right now. It's the first year that this coach is here. And all of a sudden now, half of you that didn't even believe, maybe even more than that, in Tua, you expect him to be absolutely perfect. I don't understand this attitude from some of you Dolphin fans out there, to be quite honest. What you need to have on Monday and yesterday was an appreciation, is what you need to have. Because you could be stuck with Flo and Cam Cameron and Adam Gase and all that other shit that came through this organization. Mike McDaniel looks like a pretty good dude. He looks like a cool dude, I'll tell you that. And he seems to understand offense. Is he perfect? No, I think he's a rookie coach, right? Yeah. Tua, third year player, but really, like, this is his first year that he gets to actually be a quarterback. You know, the first 2 years he was kind of under some guy's thumb that was just like squashing him and didn't really allow him to breathe and be himself. And then this defense, which is injury riddled. You're on your fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth corners. You're on your backup strong safety. Your number one corner is really not playing at 100%. Whatever it is, that X that's out there is not the X that I'm used to seeing. Okay, I'm sorry, just not the X I'm used to seeing. And yet somehow or another, it's like, who the hell are you to be picky? These guys are killing themselves, man. They're playing their asses off. They had chances to win the games without Tua. That's how well they played without Tua. They hung in there. And to me, there's only one attitude to have as a Dolphins fan, and that you are grateful. Okay? You are grateful that your team is 6-3. You're grateful that you finally found the franchise quarterback since Dan Marino. It took you over 2 decades to do it. You got to be grateful that you're one of the best teams in the NFL, and you lost your quarterback for 3 games. Let me repeat that again. You're one of the best teams in the NFL, clearly one of the best offenses in the NFL, and you're doing that by losing your quarterback for 3 games. I don't even want to know what if you would have had Tua for those 3 games, people would be saying the Dolphins are the team to beat. Do you understand me that? Do you understand that? I know what Philadelphia's doing. They would say Miami's the team to beat. Why? Because the quarterback for Miami is still playing better than the one in Philadelphia. Because he's actually like a complete quarterback. Like, he can pass the ball. Whereas Jalen Hurts needs the run part in order to make him an effective quarterback. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, that kind of stuff limits you at certain times. When they can control the run, you're going to have to beat people with your arm. And that's what Tua can do. Be grateful is what you have to be. The for those of you out there going to extremes and nitpicking and, oh, he could have had this throw, or they should play better defense. To me, I just find it ridiculous, to be quite honest. Any Dolphin fan complaining at this point, it's ridiculous. You're completely out of place to complain. Let me just tell you that. Okay? put it this way, those of you that are still complaining about something at 6-3 with all the adversity you've gone through, you don't deserve to have this team at 6-3. You deserve the misery of Cam Cameron. That's what I feel. I feel the people that are complaining, it's like that's the only reason you live for, dude. Seriously. You make it sound like you're 6-3 every year and 7-2 and 8-1, and we're always here. So hey, man, let's get better. Again, elitist. From where? Where's that coming from? Completely out of place is what you are, and completely out of touch. It's almost at the point of just ignorance and disrespect. That's where I'm at with that. But what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do? We shall move on. And thank you, Ohio John. Ho Yoon, thank you as always, coming through on the Venmo on a beautiful Monday. Thank you, sir. Also dropping some love. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show if you want to make a donation, as always. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, for those of you that don't know, Rick D-Man, thank you also. A little love on Cash App. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for great Morrow Biggie and Sean Dadon. Great Morrow Biggie O. Great Morrow Biggie O and Sean Dadon. Thank you, Rick DeMan. Appreciate you, my brother. Very nice, very nice, very nice, as always. And it's Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Anyway, Knight, thank you, sir. A little love on Super Chat. He says Brandon Jones. Yeah, the Brandon Jones injury, all the corners injured. We're feeling all of that, man. They're playing with corners 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's what they're playing with. X is your 1, Byron's your 2, Nick Needham's your 3, Trill Williams was your 4. You're missing your second, third, and fourth corners. Your number 1 is not 100% clearly. And you're playing with guys after that. It's and meanwhile, people are complaining. It's like, oh, he's, Jalen Phillips can't catch Justin. Well, Justin Fields is not easy to catch. It just watch the post-game show yesterday. I break it down for you. I show you pictures. It has nothing to do with the defensive coordinator at all. They're all in position. They just can't catch the chicken. Remember Rocky trying to catch the chicken, and he's running, and the old man's screaming at him, and then eventually Rocky gets fast enough to catch the chicken. You know what I'm saying? Well, yesterday, Jalen Phillips was Rocky, and Justin Fields was the chicken. And it's just hard to catch the chicken. It's hard to catch Tyreek Hill. I talked about that yesterday, that it's, again, the elitist attitude of some of these silly Dolphin fans. Because those of you that have an elitist attitude, you're just fucking silly. But anyway, you're insulted that Justin Fields is burning people because he's an elite athlete, but you laugh when Tyreek Hill is making everybody look stupid. So it's all right for the Dolphin fan to have an athlete that can make other people look stupid, but please don't allow Lamar Jackson to make us look stupid, or Justin Fields, or Devontae Adams, or whatever freakish athlete that you end up facing in the NFL. My God, far be it from them to have big games against the Miami Dolphins. That's not allowed. I love it how some of you out there made it feel like it's how can they struggle against Justin Fields? Oh, this is an offense that doesn't play well. Whatever. Man, it's a road game in the NFL. They went on the road, and Justin Fields may have had a career-like game yesterday. Maybe the light went on for him, and it's like, okay, this is the game I've got to play. Because I think that's what he has to play. He has to run. He has a lot of Lamar Jackson in him where he has to run in order to be an effective quarterback. Because he's not going to sit there in the pocket and pick you apart. Can't do that. Either you have it or you don't. And right now, he may develop it down the line, but at the moment, he certainly does not have it that he can sit there in the pocket. He's got to use his legs. And those legs are a powerful weapon, man. Powerful weapon. CSR Collectibles, thank you for the love on the Super Chat. Victory Monday feels good. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, sir. And thank you all out there for keeping up the amazing support that you give us every single day. Thank you all out there, as always. Let me see what we got here. Mike Lehman, thank you on Venmo. He says, great show. Go Dolphins, Tua for MVP. Mike, we were talking about this yesterday. Again, thank you, Mike, for the Venmo. We were talking about this yesterday. If Tua, remember, he's gone through stages where there's a lot of people that didn't believe in him. Now they're all wrong. So now they're kind of falling on their face. And now he's got to go out there and continue doing this. And he's converted a lot of you out there also, Dolphin fans that didn't believe in him. Although some of you out there that are butthurt Tua disbelievers, boy, you hide in the bushes and you wait. Oh, he underthrew that one. You hide. You just wait. You're dying to jump on the kid right there, But you look at the schedule for the Miami Dolphins down the stretch. They've got, obviously, the Browns coming up this week, and then they get the bye week. And then they're going to get another very winnable game, after that. But then starts a really nice stretch for the Miami Dolphins. So you're going to play Cleveland. You're going to have the bye week. You're going to play Houston. You should be 8-3, correct? You're better than those two teams. You should win those games. So let's say you're 8-3. Now starts at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at Buffalo, and home against Green Bay, which, the home against Green Bay, it's really not that difficult of a game, but the problem is Miami's secondary. You are going up against Aaron Rodgers, so maybe they have a chance, even though Green Bay is really terrible right now. But here's my point, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday. The stretch of San Francisco, Chargers, and Buffalo. One, San Francisco's got a heck of a defense. You love the Shanahan, Mike McDaniel thing. That's going to get a lot of play. It's a 4:05 game on Fox, so you have the afternoon, not a lot of games. So that's going to be one of the marquee games. Then you've got the Herbert Tua matchup, right? And, some of you idiots are still don't want to, and you want Herbert or whatever. And then you can win that one. And then you've got at Buffalo. And somehow or another, if you can complete the sweep of Buffalo this year, do you know what Tua becomes? The MVP leader. You win 3 of those 4 games, and Tua's an MVP candidate. You win all of those games, and Tua's your MVP leader, is what's going to end up happening. Not yet, because it's still too early. He's had some really good games, and obviously he played another lights-out game yesterday. But, again, it's not a great team that you beat. But now that tougher part of the schedule that comes up, and if you're able to pass the test, you're able to beat San Francisco, you're able to, the Chargers, it's a good team to beat, but it's not like beating San Francisco or Buffalo. That's different. Those are better teams overall. But still, the whole Herbert to a matchup thing, it'll be hyped up. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a lot of fun to see if they can get that done. And that's the stretch where Tua then gets catapulted into the MVP talk if he's going to be in the MVP talk. Let's see. Greater good. The Dolphin players in the 70s were all Joe Six-Pack guys. They live amongst us in the middle-class neighborhoods, not fancy gated communities. Yeah, but it's a different world, greater good. That's, you can't compare the errors. When Henry Aaron hits a home run and there's a fan running with him alongside him and tapping him on the shoulder like, wow, great job, this, that, and nobody's tackling that guy. Why? Because it was a different world then. And in that world, Morgana the kissing bandit can come out of the stands and nobody would stop her, and she'd go and kiss the coach, the manager, a player, whatever, and then she'd run right back into the stands and sit down. In today's world, as you saw with Martina Hingis getting stabbed, and it goes on and on and on, there is no longer trust like that. Greater good. So you must live in a gated community. If you're Dan Marino, if you're anybody. Different world, my man. Do not compare how we behaved 30, 40, 50 years ago compared to the animals that we have now in our society. Okay? Don't compare us as kids compared to the morons we have now as kids. Yeah, I said it. Morons that we have now as kids. It's different, man. It's a whole different world. And you can never, ever go back and compare what life was before and life was after. You can't leave any guns out in the open nowadays. When I was a kid, I knew exactly where all my dad's guns were, and I never touched them. He didn't need a safe. He didn't need a lock. He didn't need anything. He was dad. You respected that. Why? Because you were going to get a foot in your ass if you touched a gun. Go do it now. Tons of idiots that we have as kids don't know the difference between that. Common sense is gone, dude. Greater good. So don't ever compare the past to the way people behave nowadays. Society was never perfect, but we had boundaries then that we did not cross. Now there are no boundaries. Nick P. Leggy. I hope I pronounced it right, sir. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Morning, Big O. Victory Monday. Hilarious listening to local radio here in Buffalo now that the entitled losers in Bill Mafia are being humbled. And they'll get humbled even more in a couple of weeks when Tua goes there and beats their ass. Okay? When the Dolphins walk out of Buffalo with a win, that's going to be the humbling experience for a lot of naysayers around the country, for all the Tua idiots out there that were hating and all that stuff. The absolutes, remember. Oh, I'm with you, my brother. I am with you on that in a big-time way. Yes, Jeff Wilson, wow. Jeff, you know what Jeff Wilson is? He's River Craycraft. He's Raheem Mostert. He's Trent Sherfield. He's a guy that Mike McDaniel identified and said, that guy knows my system. He'll come right away and help out. And every one of those San Fran guys have immediately made an impact. Sherfield and Craycraft, I know Craycraft was out this past week, but nobody's going to deny that he hasn't been a productive player whenever you use him. Trent Sherfield, productive player whenever you use him. Raheem Mostert, I was expecting him to have a better game yesterday, but got to credit the Bears. They stopped him, but he did get the touchdown, but he's been a really good player for the Dolphins. It's all worked out. So I'm not surprised that Jeff Wilson comes in. Seamless transition, you know. Miami is going to embarrass Green Bay on Christmas Day. Finns need not to lose 3 straight when they make the West Coast trip, then travel to Buffalo. Those 3 straight road games will decide their playoffs. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not with Tua, I'm not worried about that. Without your quarterback, I mean, I've been telling you the entire offseason for the idiots. Remember the idiots? Oh, Teddy Bridgewater is going to take Tua's job. And right away I killed that shit in the offseason. I told you guys, if it's not Tua, the season's over. And now you understand that if it's not Tua, the season is over. Nobody, as much as I like Skyler, he's not ready. Too young to carry him. More than talented enough to play in this league, but he needs the experience that he doesn't have right now. So he would get confused and make mistakes, and it just wouldn't be the same. And Teddy Bridgewater, no shot. He's never been able to do it in his entire career, even before all the injuries. So now, come on, man. Nice, great guy, but not the answer. So it's Tua or bust. It's over. With Tua, I feel you always have a shot. Brooklyn Rob, thank you for the love on the super chat. Happy Monday, Big O and Sean. Any chance with global warming, it can be 90 degrees in Buffalo in December? That would be nice, right? All of a sudden, a heat wave hits the Northeast. I kind of like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm with you on that one. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you on the super chat. Dolphin 13, Big O. It's hard to put a lot of blame on Boyer for the defense. He's missing Brandon Jones, which is irreplaceable. Yep, I've said it many times. And Needham, Byron, if there's one thing they can get better, and it's tackling fundamental. Tackling, and they got to get a better pass rush. Now, yesterday was a different ball game because that's not a stationary quarterback. You're not going to have that problem next week with Brissett. You're not going to have that problem the following week with what is it? White, the name of the kid that's there, but he's not a mobile guy either. So you're now going to run into guys that are going to be pretty much stationary. You got to do a better job of getting to that damn quarterback. That's what you got to do. I mean, that's the most important thing. Let me tell you a little bit about Policy Genius, by the way, a sponsor of the program, folks. If you have life insurance or if you don't, you're going to need it. And, hey, life insurance is so important. You want to set your family up. It's part of being a responsible custodian of your family, right? And so if you're thinking about it, you're wondering, how do I go about it? Policy Genius is just absolutely awesome. Listen, we all hope we never need the life insurance, but mortgage payments, child care, and other expenses, they don't disappear when you're gone. So you've got to think ahead. Since life insurance policies typically get more expensive as we age, now is the time to buy, and Policy Genius gives you a smarter way to find and buy the right coverage for you and your family, folks. Now, Policy Genius was built to modernize the life insurance industry. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from the top companies like AIG and Prudential in just a few clicks for the lowest price. Now, listen to this, folks. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $17 per month, and that gives you $500,000 of coverage. And Policy Genius has licensed agents who can actually help you find options that offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid unnecessary medical exams. That's pretty cool. And it's not incentivized to recommend one insurer over the other, so you can actually trust their guidance. There's no added fees, and your personal info is private. That's very important. No wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Check it out for yourself. Your loved ones are going to deserve the financial safety net that you can create, and you deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head to policygenius.com, click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and to see how much you can save. That is policygenius.com. All right, let's get into a little basketball. The Miami Heat stunk it out on Friday against the Pacers. Tonight, they take on Portland. And let's see, we gave away tickets on our Instagram with red.recover. We gave away tickets to the Portland game tonight. And at Walk-Ons on Saturdays, we gave away a pair of tickets to the Portland game, and we gave away 2 pairs of tickets to the Heat and the Hornets. See, this is why you got to join us, man. You got to join us next Saturday for our broadcast for the Canes and Georgia Tech. I mean, listen, the games may suck, but the prizes are absolutely fantastic. Perdomo cigar lighters, cutters, and a hat. Walk-on gift cards, Caneswear gift cards, walk-on prize packs, Heat tickets. Come on, man. You got to join us at Walk-Ons in Kendall. This week, by the way, the game's at 3:30. Our pregame coverage starts at 1:30, and we give away prizes at the end of every quarter. How about that? And by the way, thanks, first of all, to Cutter's Edge Pro for providing the basketball tickets. Thanks to redrecover.com, also providing the Portland Trailblazer tickets. I want to thank Caneswear for providing the gift cards, Perdomo Cigars, Nick Perdomo, Billy Perdomo, Nick Jr., Arthur, all the great people out there, Perdomo Cigars. Thank you as always. That's the reason why the platform is growing. We hit 16,000 subscribers now on YouTube, so the YouTube channel continues to grow. So thank you all. It's all of you listening, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, hitting the like button, spreading the word, following us everywhere, visiting our sponsors, joining us at live events. All of those things will help us grow and continue to add more and more, features to the platform. All right, let's go. Let's go with Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, Ira. So tell me, is it just that the Canes and the Heat want to make me age? Is that what it's all about? And good morning.
Well, I will say this. I mean, there are bad losses and there are hideous losses. I'm not so sure I'd put the Heat loss on the road at Indiana in the same area as the Canes debacle. I mean, there's a difference there. The difference also is you're not playing an 11-game schedule. You're playing an 82-game schedule. You have plenty of time to regain your footing. You know how Eric Spoelstra is, Big O. He's constantly telling us there's time. We'll get it together. And Big O, you also know this. There's always this stretch when the Heat wins 11 of 12. They always find their way. They always get right. But when you look in the East right now, there are the Bucks and there are the Cavaliers, and every other team is trying to find their way. The Heat are in that group of teams trying to find themselves. I'm not at critical mass. I do believe the Heat will be bowl eligible, so I think they'll be okay over there. But yeah, I mean, there are questions, and the questions start obviously with the absences, the injuries, and the fact that there's not a lot of boost off the bench because basically their best reserves are starting.
Yeah, no, it's just a little frustrating. I'd like for them to start a little better. The good thing is it's a long season, overall. Tyler had a hell of a game. Also, he played well against the Pacers. And how do you fix that imbalance from the bench? You've talked about, putting Strus in the starting lineup and put Tyler, on the bench. That doesn't seem like that's going to happen because then you'll create a problem for Tyler in all of this. So what's up with the Oladipo thing then?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing. Yesterday, Eric Spoelstra said he was back on the court. He was doing some work at practice, but I've learned one lesson on our Acura Pembroke Pines reports here on Monday and Fridays is I'm making no assumptions with Victor Oladipo because you and I were talking last December and January and February. Vic is close. They're optimistic. Vic has been in the locker room. He's telling us good things. And you've seen this in all the sports you've covered. The chronically injured player at a certain point no longer becomes the reliable player. Anything the Miami Heat get from Victor Oladipo at this point going forward is a bonus. I'm not counting on it. And because I'm not counting on that, I don't know who's going to create in that second unit. That yes, you can keep Jimmy Butler on the floor. You could stagger the minutes. But this isn't, I wrote this in my Ask Ira at the Sun Sentinel this morning at sunsentinel.com. This is not the depth we were told about in the preseason. This was not, I don't know who to play. There are so many players. I'm going to have to go to a 9 or 10 deep to get most of them in there. The Miami Heat are not a team with great depth. Their starting lineup has performed, is plus, has outscored the opposition when those 5 players are on the court, the 5 starters. But their bench has been a net negative. You know what, Big O? You want to be great, you got to be like the Bucks. And you've got to have a positive for your bench as well. We've talked about it over the years. The answer to me still is when Jimmy comes back, like he should tonight from his hip injury, is you put Tyler on that second unit. And you don't have to worry when I look on the court and I go, oh my God, you have Dwayne Dedmon out there. You have Duncan Robinson out there with Gabe Vincent out there. You're just a lot of guys who, hey, wonderful people and great complementary players, but they're not the guys who are going to spark you. And it's not only Tyler. Caleb Martin with his energy sparked them off the bench. Look, Caleb Martin is a backup player in the NBA. He just is. It's what he does. He energizes. But a starting power forward, it's a net negative for this team when he opens at power forward. And we're seeing that also. So, yeah, this team has issues. They're not who we thought they were. And right now, if you're asking me, Ira, even at their best with this rotation, are they a top 4 team in the East? Man, Big O, it's going to come right down to the wire. And when it does, you're going to be sitting there in our Acura Pembroke Pines report going, you see, Ira, this is where the losses to the Kings and the Pacers are biting them again, just like some bad losses in previous seasons.
All right, but so I'm hearing that, but I'm not seeing what the solutions are to all of this. You know what I'm saying? And then and another little thing that I've always kind of been nitpicking on, if we're going to label Bam the franchise player, then when is he going to be the guy that can impose his will offensively game in and game out? And to me, that's the reason why I always argue with everybody that says Bam's a franchise player. In the 90s, I could have considered Bam a franchise player. In today's NBA, because it's such an offensive game, I need you to be the kind of player that can impose your offensive will. Ben Wallace no longer would be a superstar in this league. He would be a super role player because he's a defensive player, limited offensively. Now, Bam is not limited offensively, but it seems like he doesn't take that next step offensively. And to me, that's, I think, something that's missing, that Jimmy doesn't have that other star. So I'm trying to find a solution. Oladipo's not going to be that guy. I cannot count on Lowry to be that guy, overall. So who am I looking for? I got to go look at the other guy that's getting paid a ton of money in Bam Adebayo.
Big O, I'm going to disagree with you for this reason. And I'm going to disagree with you and tell you you're right, so then you'll be happy. Kyle Lowry has to be the franchise guy because you're paying him the franchise money. You and I have spoken about this over the years.
But he can't produce it. But he can't produce it.
But if you are
I don't care what you're paying. I don't care what you're paying him. You're not getting your money's worth out of Kyle Lowry at all, ever. You haven't gotten it.
Then you screwed up big time, and you messed up your salary cap, and there's no recourse because this is a salary cap league. We've seen it, with other teams also. So when you pay franchise player money, now I can make an argument that Bam Adebayo is a defensive franchise player. Now you're going to say, Ira, that's not enough. We're in the offensive era of the NBA. You're correct, Big O, but I can make that argument. I don't think Bam Adebayo has it in him. It's interesting. He said he was going to take 18, 19 shots a game this season. He's averaging 13.1. It's not in his mindset to give me the ball. You MFers get out of the way. I'm going to score. It's just not. It's just not who he is.
Okay.
The answer to me is to trade away. The answer to me is to trade away future assets. But Big O, I'm going to ask you this. Since the Big O show will be on the air in 2026, 27, and 28, are you willing to give up an unprotected pick in 26 or 28 to maneuver to get Jay Crowder as a 1-year rental if you're a GM, Big O? No. So that's your answer. My answer is I can answer power forward. I can answer a lot of questions by getting Jay Crowder, starting him at power forward, moving Caleb Martin back to the bench. You have an active 4-position defender who then can come in and Caleb, but you're sort of balancing things. They went deep in their salary cap. I get this from all of our listeners here on the Acura Pembroke Pines Report. Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson at $44 million, giving you the production they do. Big O, this is a salary cap league. This is not the Yankees getting one more and paying more of a penalty to the league. This is not a team in a non-cap world being able to do that. They're kind of screwed where they are against the tax, against the hard cap. So the one thing I will say is, though, I still would keep an eye on the Brooklyn Nets. And if there's a deal to be done for Kevin Durant, I would at least try to listen and consider it. So I'll throw it to you. I threw it to Kurt Heelan on redrecover.com inside the page.
Yes.
You would give up Bam Adebayo for Kevin Durant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if that's the case, I can honestly say this. This might be the only broadcast venue where you can get that answer. I don't think Kurt's going to give it to us at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. But you know what? I think the Nets, realizing where this is headed, if they do cut ties with Kyrie, if Kevin Durant looks around and said, I got this Ben Simmons who can't play anymore, they'd have to move him also to get Bam. I'm still not sure that Andy Ellisberg's big deal to present the whale on a platter to Pat Riley can't be there. So maybe there's still that possibility. But I want to say this, since this will get aggregated. I'm not saying the Heat are going to trade for Kevin Durant. I'm not saying the Heat can trade for Kevin Durant. But I'm saying as long as the possibility is there, the Heat would at least have to entertain the possibility.
Hell yeah, because as far as I see it, this will be a nice team. They'll make the playoffs. Maybe they'll have a decent, appearance, but they're not winning a title, and that's what this franchise is all about. And that's what Riley's about. That's what the Arson family wants to do. They want to go deep. You want to win the playoffs. Well, then you're going to have to find another star because Jimmy Butler is the only one that can say, here I am, and I'm going to impose my will.
Yeah,
and
on both ends of the court.
Right, and exactly. And there's nobody else that can do that on both sides. And I'm not even asking somebody to be both sides of the court. And this is an offensive game.
Okay.
Get me an offensive player that's a dominant player next to Jimmy Butler, and then you can build all the other pieces and find them. But if Bam's not ready to become that star, and I don't think he ever really will be that star because it's really not in his DNA, I'd rather just put all my chips in and go with Kevin Durant.
Well, it's
and by the way, this is the platform that said Tua was a player and nobody else was on it. So, sometimes, Ira, we're ahead of the curve here sometimes. We told everybody you got to fire Dale Talon before anybody ever had the balls to say it, and finally.
And you didn't want Ndamukong Suh with that contract either. So I understand the blind squirrel is on a feast right now finding those acorns. I get it. To me, the biggest question about the Heat, which is one I believe Eric Spoelstra, because of the way he comports himself, will never do. If you were to put one of your polls out there, Big O, maybe you want to put it on your YouTube chat or something, and ask who's the biggest what's the biggest disappointment for the Miami Heat over the first 10 games of the season. And I would give you the choices of Victor Oladipo not playing, Duncan Robinson not contributing, Bam Adebayo not asserting himself. I would go with option 4. I'm going to give you right now. Kyle Lowry is nowhere near where he needs to be. Now, you're telling me Kyle Lowry is 36 and will never be that and is over the hill and is done.
He's a waste.
I'm going to tell you this, Big O. If Kyle Lowry is not at least 50% better than what he's showing right now, your Miami Heat are screwed because they are relying on big time. And I'm going to make this point to you. The Miami Heat got rid of a very nice, competent, wonderful, good person in Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic, for what he was asked to be, was very good at it. I think you'd agree with that, Big O, correct?
Yeah. His
Goran fulfilled his mandate. Goran fulfilled his mandate of 2 first-round picks protected to the Suns. He fulfilled that mandate. But they said, no, we need a prototypic floor leader to spread the ball around and get the ball in the right place. And yet at these end of these games, they're not having Kyle set someone up. They're just throwing the ball to Tyler Hero. In some of these games, Kyle's winding up with 2 assists in the second half of a game. If he's supposed to be this prototypic, and I'll give you the name, at the same age, actually a little older, who's getting it done that way in Chris Paul. He's not close. In the Chris Paul list of 1 to 10, how close is Kyle Lowry to Chris Paul right now? He's probably a 3. And that's the problem. And that's the problem. So I know Heat fans, you have all kinds of issues. Yes, Duncan Robinson at that price point is tough. Yes, we're waiting for Victor Oladipo, as Big O said at the top of our Acura of Pembroke Pines report. I get that. Yes, I would love to see the Bam Adebayo, who told us all season, I'm going to get 18 or 19 shots a game or 17, and is getting 13 shots a game. But man, Kyle Lowry is not coming close to his mandate. And if we were to do a report card based on expectations, he's probably a D player right now, Big O.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt. That's why I go directly to Bam, because I skip over Lowry because I just don't count on him. All right, let me switch gears here to the "this will never happen" department. Okay. The Nets have delivered Kyrie Irving 6 things he must complete to return to the team: apologize and condemn the movie, $500,000 donation to the anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with the ADL and Jewish leaders, then meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate the understanding. There is no shot that guy does all of that to return.
And yet, Big O, I think he could do it in a half-baked kind of way to say, I check the boxes. Let me just finish here. To say I check the boxes, but there should be a number 7 on that list that The Athletic published, and that's this. And never to do something this freaking stupid again, because here's the problem, Big O. Even if he meets the mandate that's set for him, let's say he does cursory, he just does it. He says sort of the right words, and then it's go like, I'll give you a check mark. I'll give you a check mark on 6. If he's going to do it again, and all of a sudden the Nets, we have Kyrie and KD and we're ready to go again, and Ben Simmons is going to shoot the ball. What I've got to get from Kyrie, you know what I'd like to get from Kyrie, which they should have put on there? And you will shut down your Twitter account, and you will shut down your Instagram, and you will stay off social media at least for the rest of the season. I would have put that in also. Because you know what? Idiocy in October and November, if it's going to be repeated with idiocy in January, February, and then April, it's the same guy. When has Kyrie not been in the middle of such a tempest?
Never. And it's going to continue to happen. And he knows it. And that's why he's not going to end up following all of these steps in the end. By the way, you are officially no longer worried about the Brooklyn Nets. You're more worried about the Heat now than you are the Nets.
Well, I'm more worried about the Heat because I thought the Heat would be better. I've also said from the get-go from this season, I mean, we all sleep on Milwaukee because they're just the accepted sort of boring team with Giannis. They are a great team. You still see the potential with Boston, even with the new coach and what they can be. But I'm backing off Philadelphia a little. Harden's hurt again. It hasn't worked out perfectly. Joel Embiid, if he's going to miss time with injury, is not the same player. So the top of the East is a little bit more there for taking than I thought. But you know what, Big O? The Cavaliers and what they've done, I'm going to give you the example. This summer, when you were talking about whether you should keep PJ Tucker and go hard capped, whether the Heat should wait for a whale, the Cavaliers got a whale in Donovan Mitchell. And oh my God, they are for real. So now when I'm giving you the how are the Heat going to get a top 4 seed, I'm putting Cleveland in there as a team you damn well better beat. They play them the 3rd game on their next road trip, and they go to Toronto, Washington, Cleveland, and Minneapolis before they come home for Thanksgiving. Cleveland's for real. Kevin Love is the anti-Russell Westbrook. He has settled into that reserve role, and he has embraced it, and he has been great about it. But Cleveland's for real right now with Garland and with Jared Allen and what they have. So
they didn't have to give up anything in that Donovan Mitchell trade. They didn't give up their core. That was the beauty of that trade. They kept their young guys.
But they gave up all of their draft future. And they don't have a draft pick forever, and they did that. They were not going to meet Colin Sexton's price in restricted free agency. So they gave up a nice place, will score a lot of points and losses, although now in Utah it's in wins. But yeah, Cleveland went all in. The Heat would have gone all in, didn't have the assets to match and couldn't make that deal. But that shows you that Donovan Mitchell was a whale and how much of a difference it's making for the Cavaliers.
All right, so final thing there. Does Kyrie do all of that, yay or nay?
He does it in the most cursory of ways where when you and I review the list and you're going to go to me, well, he sort of did that. Well, he sort of said he was sorry. Well, he sort of admitted he was wrong.
Isn't the owner Jewish?
No, the owner Josiah is not Jewish. No, he's from China. But there is Jewish influence on the team, absolutely. Being in Brooklyn, a large Hasidic Jewish Orthodox community.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I know the community. Yeah.
Right. Just the worst place for him to pull the BS that he pulled right now. I think because of that, he's untradeable also. But still, I think Kyrie does it in a cursory way, but that's what I would do. I would make number 7, no social media. You're on social media probation. Elon Musk doesn't have to ban you. We're going to ban you. Kyrie will never go for that because Kyrie continues to insist he's the smartest man in the room.
Unless you're Kathy Griffin, then you don't last on Twitter. Did you see that?
Yes, it's all who you criticize and how you do it and what the man is, and I agree.
But Elon's response? Did you see Elon's response?
I did not see his response, no.
His response was, I did not suspend her for impersonating me. I suspended her for impersonating a comic.
You know what? When you own the Twitter, you can do whatever you want. And as long as there's employees left to run Twitter, you still can do whatever you want.
You got to admit, that was a funny line. That was a good line.
It was a great line. But, I mean, she's been through hell from what she tried to do the first time. Yeah.
No, I know the backstory behind it, but I'm just like that whole thing. And by the way, Valerie Bertinelli did the same thing. She changed her Twitter profile to Elon Musk. I don't know if he's suspended America's darling.
So, no, and I might have to start a GoFundMe to keep my blue check mark. So we'll talk about that down the road.
You don't have $8 a month to keep that blue check mark?
You know what? $96 to give to the world's richest man just seems like a bit much. That's my point.
Yeah. Although I will say the edit thing is awesome because I'm an idiot. I always tweet out stuff and I always misspell something, misplace something somewhere. So I get to hit the edit button and fix it. And that's it. So. It's a business expense. It is what it is. All right, Ira, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. What are you doing to prepare us for the Trailblazers?
Well, instead of preparing for the Trailblazers, I posted a feature this morning on Jamal Cain's wild ride. He joined the Heat in Indiana on Friday, was playing in Iowa, the rare Indiana-Iowa back-to-back. And I talked to all the Heat players who are in two-way contracts. What's it like? And Caleb Martin said he never unpacked his bag between Charlotte and Greensboro. Duncan Robinson said you don't even feel like you live in Sioux Falls. You were on call all the time. And Gabe Vincent gave me the best answer. You take the longest possible flight from Sioux Falls to Miami because you maximize your frequent flyer miles. So I have all the guys' stories on what two-way life is like. It's a really interesting read. I hope people will go to sunsentinel.com and check that out.
Check it out there and follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapbeat. Ira, as always, thank you. We'll catch you on Wednesday for the RedRecovery.com Inside the Paint Show.
And then back on Friday with our next Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thank you, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right, all right, all right. Ah, yeah. Love it, love it, love it. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports to talk about? The Dolphins are 6-3, right? And Tua and Jalen Hurts are the only quarterbacks in the NFL who are undefeated in games that they start and finish. Jalen obviously is 9-0 now, right? I believe, and then the Dolphins obviously with Tua 6-0 in games that he started. So that's a stat that's been running now for the last couple of weeks now that Tua's been back. So we have another stat for you that's kind of interesting with Tua Tagovailoa, and one that a lot of people made comparisons to, and right now they're not looking so good. And that's Tua and Justin Herbert, right? And there are some of us like myself that are strong Tua backers, and we said for the last couple of years we would have taken Tua over Justin Herbert last year and the year before. I never changed my mind. I never ever was, let's say, flip-flopping on all of that. And now it looks like we had the right side of it, right? On the Tua side, at least for now. He's outplayed Herbert. But guess what? He continues to outplay Herbert in even less games. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that Justin Herbert and the Chargers have played 8 games? He's 5-3. Did you know Tua has only played 6 games with the Miami Dolphins, and he's 6-0? The great Justin Herbert can't win more games than Tua, and Tua has played less games. And we all know what that record would be if Tua has 8 games like Justin Herbert. He might be 8-0, while Justin is 5-3. You know, it's kind of an interesting thing there. How Tua Tagovailoa can take 3 games off, spot him 3 games, and still beat him in wins. I'm just saying, it's kind of funny, kind of interesting. For all of you out there that are, still in love with Justin Herbert and that he's the greatest and he's the second coming, and he's got the beautiful locks, and he can run like a deer, and he can throw it 100 miles an hour and out the stadium if you need it, and he throws it into other orbits. Instead of meteors coming into our solar system, he throws meteors out of the Earth's solar system and into space. That's how strong Justin Herbert's arm is. But yet he can't beat Tua, can't outplay Tua, can't outwin Tua. Interesting. Oh, and by the way, has not had a better career than Tua overall. But hey, you guys continue with that love affair. That's worked out so well. In 6 games, he can do better than what Justin does in 8 games. It's interesting. Very interesting how Tua Tagovailoa once again gets the best of Justin Herbert. Can't wait for that Chargers game. Can't wait for that Chargers game. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to that one. Dolphin 13 says, Big O, back me up here for a second. Dan Marino was the least sacked quarterback. He had the best pocket awareness. He would. Did you continue somewhere else? Yeah, he had great pocket awareness. There is no doubt. He made quick decisions. He got rid of the football. He had a very good left side of the line. There's no doubt about that. But he was also exceptional at getting rid of the football. So he complemented his line in that way, and he just made life, easier for everybody. Tua does a lot of that too, where he makes quick decisions and gets rid of the football. And how about yesterday? He threw one away. When I saw him throw that away, I was like, yeah, Tua. Damn it, dude. You're sliding. You're throwing the ball away. I effing love you, bro. That's awesome. You're doing the kind of shit to stick around now. Awesome. Way to go, Tua. Knight says, Big O, I still can't believe Tua got that ball to Waddle despite sliding. Yeah. I felt bad for him at the end when he throws to Waddle and it was just underthrown because he was trying to throw a perfect, he was just trying to be safe with the floater, and he put a little too much air on it. He gives it just a little more juice. It leads Waddle. And it's over. But I mean, it's hard to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But he was fantastic yesterday, man. He was awesome. He certainly wasn't even close to the problem. He did more than enough. He took him to 6 scores in 9 drives. I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Brian Walter says, Big O, Tua is the only Dolphins quarterback that has 2-3 TDs and nuts in consecutive games? Or you mean like no interceptions in consecutive games? Yes, I know the stat. It's just funny how the typing came out. Some fans said Herbert just out of a plane on fire, not the plane Herbert, and still win the game. Some fans said Herbert just out of a plane on fire, not the plane Herbert, still win the. I don't. You guys got to take some time to, type there and check what you're typing. So it confuses the crap out of me. Adam says, "Oh, I got back from Chicago late last night, second Finns road game of the year. So pumped to be 6-3. I could sense how nervous Bears fans were when Miami had that ball. They know Tua is the real deal." Exactly. People that look at it, you just see it, and you're like, okay, this kid's the real deal. He's dealing. That's what Tua's doing, bro. He's dealing right now. I love it, man. Y'all are allowed to edit your messages before you send it out, guys. LOL. Yes. Yeah. Although I do love that feature now on Twitter that you can, when you pay for your service, the blue thing. I'm paying for it, by the way. I have no problem with it. And there's, a bunch of extras that come with it. But for me, the edit button alone, I've already used it like 6 times. I look at what I typed and I went, oh man, I screwed up. Oh, you know what? Let me add this. Let me take this out, whatever, that kind of stuff. Just to tweak it, edit it because it may not be right. And it's beautiful. I love that feature. That's a blessing, that feature. You only have a half hour. After you post it, you have a half hour to edit. So you can go back and check whatever you post to make sure that it's there. You can do that already on Facebook and Instagram, I think, or LinkedIn. Yeah, I think it's LinkedIn also. You can do it. But Twitter is Elon added that, and I think that's a really, really cool thing. What else? Sorry, Big O. Sneaking my phone at work, but won't miss the show, says John Padilla. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Ronald says, I lived through the Marino era. This feels the same. I've been saying that for 2 weeks now. I've been telling people for 2 weeks and young people that you want to know what it felt like to watch Marino. This is it right here. Quarterback dealing, scoring points, but the defense is a disaster. It gives up points, or the special team screws up, or they don't have much of a running game. It just reminds me of the same thing. I'm not saying Tua's Marino. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that the similarities of the situations are practically identical. And I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. And now I'm hearing everybody else, get on board and say it after I've been talking about it the last couple of weeks. But that's exactly what it is. It's so much like Marino. As of today, Tua has the best career passer rating in Miami Dolphins history. I'm not surprised. He's a freaking stud. And I kept saying it for a couple of years. Has nothing to do with it. Remember, folks, you are 6-3. 6-3 is one hell of a record in today's NFL, where anybody can beat anybody. And when I say that, the Lions beat the Packers 15-9. Aaron Rodgers scored 9 points. The Jets beat the Bills 20-17. Josh Allen did not have a good game, and he took responsibility for it. The Raiders were supposed to be so good. They've got 2 wins on the season. Yesterday, they got beat by the Jags 27-20. This is a league, and the only reason the Dolphins have losses is because of their backup quarterbacks. Who knows what their record would be? Probably 8-1, 9-0. The bottom line is your team is finding ways to win. That's what they've done. And that's all that matters in the NFL. Who won and who lost. All this stuff hanging on where for the style points, and I get it. It was frustrating with the defense yesterday, but what are you going to do, man? Justin Fields was a mismatch nightmare yesterday. And sometimes you just got to tip your hat. But stay in reality. 6-3, and you could be the Packers. You could. Wasn't that AFC West supposed to be like the greatest division since sliced bread? And now they're calling the AFC East the best division in football. Which I don't believe that, because I believe the Jets are frauds, to be quite honest, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't believe in that offense, especially losing Breece Hall. I don't believe in the quarterback. But I think they got a bunch of wins against backup quarterbacks, including the Miami Dolphins. They got the breaks of a lifetime. And I doubt it's going to continue that way. But I think Miami, and definitely Buffalo, obviously, are the creme de la creme of that division. And they will be two of the better teams in the AFC conference, period. Appreciate it, man. 6-3 is amazing. Juice F5, 1994 was the last time we were close to going to the Super Bowl. Stoyo made me cry in San Diego. Worst loss I've seen. So much on the line. Facts. That's right. All right. You know what's also a fact? 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. We will be joined by Alan Poupart at 11:30. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on essential moving experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, we're back. Hour number 2 of the program. The great Sean Stanley, of course, mastering this show and putting the entire platform together. Make sure you visit our YouTube page. Make sure you share also the link. Please smash the hell out of the like button for those of you that are watching right now. We have 170 likes or 570 people watching right now. So that means it's a 400 difference there. So come on, man. You're watching. Smash that like button, man. You know, come on. Man, help us get that platform out there to other people and other Dolphin and Heat and Marlins and Canes and Inter Miami and Panther fans. And congratulations to the Panthers yesterday beating the Ducks 5-3. I think it was. Yes, 5-3. The Heat can't congratulate you for losing to the Pacers 101-99 on Friday. That sucks. Their record is 4-6. And the University of Miami. The University of Miami. They lose to FSU on Saturday night 45-3. Unacceptable at every level. Unacceptable for Mario Cristobal and his staff. There's no way to get around it. I can't defend Mario. I'm a Mario guy. I believe he'll change all of this eventually, but he's going to have to figure some shit out because this is unacceptable. This team is not that bad. The coaching is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you that kind of I'm not that stupid. You know, I don't work for the flagship station or anything like that. You know, and I root for Mario, but I would tell Mario right to his face if I had a one-on-one with him, brother, I'm rooting for you, but what's going on is unacceptable. And I lay it on you and your staff. I get it. You may not have all the right kids and all the right attitudes, but they're playing beyond like shit. They're playing at this is the most embarrassing Canes team I've ever seen in my life. And I watched some guy celebrating behind, Manny Diaz, which I was disgusted with. I'm still disgusted to this day. But to watch the shit performance from this team week in and week out, to see how unprepared those quarterbacks are, to see how poor that offense is, to see how sloppy they play. Yeah, no, I got to lay it on everybody on that staff. from Mario to the offensive to the defensive staff. I'm not saying that you got to fire people and all that, but I'm saying you better find the right people that fit your system, because obviously you're not good enough to adjust to whatever's there. And that's not a good thing, by the way. That's a bad look for Mario's staff. You know, good coaching staff like Mike McDaniel, they adjust to what they have and then they shape what they have. And that's exactly what they're doing. But wow, the ineptitude that is going on with the Canes in every department is sorry. And it's a bad look on Mario Cristobal and the entire staff. I'm not a Josh Gaddis guy whatsoever. For me, he's on double secret probation. And if he comes back next year, if Mario thinks he's the guy, I better see drastic improvement in the first month of next year, or I'm telling you, I'll be all over burying the Josh Gaddis train. I can tell you that for sure, because so far there is no coach in town that I am more unimpressed with than Josh Gaddis. I don't care what Broyles Award he won last year. It doesn't mean shit to me. I told you guys this not a long time ago, a couple of weeks ago, that, you know, when free agents sign somewhere, that's what you got to understand. Teron Armstead, we don't care what you did in New Orleans. Tyreek Hill, we don't care what you did in Kansas City. It's what you do here. That's why Chase Edmonds, people were pissed because you signed a free agent contract. But, dude, all the things you did in Arizona to be a good player, we're not seeing them here. And we don't care what you did in Arizona. They're paying you now to perform here. That's the thing about being a free agent. You want to be a free agent? Kyle Lowry, I don't give a crap what you did in Toronto. It means nothing to me. So it's got to change, man. It's got to change. So Josh Gaddis, I don't care what you did, bro, at Michigan. It doesn't mean shit to me. What I think is you're doing a shit job here. I think Josh Gaddis is the worst coach in town. How do you like that? The biggest problem in South Florida coaching is Josh Gaddis. Danny Crossman might be a close second. At least Jalen Phillips got a block for him yesterday. But still, his kicker missed a field goal. Crossman, you're still second. But Josh Gaddis, the worst coach / assistant coach in South Florida right now. If there's anybody that should be on the firing line or getting like really close to being pushed into the firing line, it's Josh Gaddis. Danny Crossman's like right behind him too. Got to do something, Mario. I mean, I get it. It's you got a lot of work to do. You came from winning programs. You knew that this was going to be tough, this, that. That doesn't mean anything. And where you came from doesn't mean anything either. It's what you're doing here now. And what you're doing here now is not good enough. Bottom line. Bottom line. Again, not saying that Mario needs to be fired or anybody needs to be, not even Josh Gaddis yet. I'm ready to, throw him out. I'll give him till next year to see what the hell, because I got to give him, maybe it's an aberration. Maybe the guy's a hell of a coach and just had a crap year. Couldn't figure it out. But he's definitely on double secret probation. But as for Mario, I don't care how much you tell me you got to work, and I don't care that you told me it's this difficult and where you came from and all that. You can't look like that every Saturday. You can't. You can lose, but you got to lose respectably. You got to lose with a fight. You got to lose that it was a tight game, that you were in it. I think people can accept that. People can accept the shit that went on Saturday. Everybody at walk-ons, if you weren't an FSU fan on Saturday, they basically stuck around for the prizes. By the time we gave away the last prize with 2 minutes, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, brother, that place cleared out. Because people were hanging on for the Perdomo prize pack, which is amazing. The Caneswear gift cards. They were hanging on for the Heat tickets. We had a lot of really good prizes given away at Walk-Ons in Kendall. And that's what they would have left after the first quarter, sometime in the second quarter. A lot of people, some left, but that place stayed pretty packed because they were cheering on the prizes. By the way, thank you all out there for those of you that came out to support us at Walk-Ons. Really appreciate those of you. Great to meet some of you. Great to meet some of you that did not know that we were doing this. There's been a couple times at Walk-Ons already that I've run into somebody that says, "Oh, where you been? I missed you on QAM." And I'm like, well, we've been here for a couple years. You can just find us on YouTube, but it's crazy. Leva, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, can anybody tackle at Coral Gables? Apparently, they don't teach tackling on that coaching staff. Steele also had a shitty game, too. Kevin Steele also deserves, a little backlash, too, in the process. So I know that you may not have the right players and the right characters. There's no doubt about that. But you can't coach that shitty. And that's exactly what's going on with Mario Cristobal and his staff. They are doing a shit job. They are not excelling anywhere as coaches. And you're getting paid a lot of money, man. Getting paid a lot of money. I don't sugarcoat shit here, bro. We call it like we see it. And if they can't handle it, it's because they can't handle the truth. And I would hope that Mario Cristobal, he's not going to say it publicly, but behind the scenes, he's got to be saying, we're doing a shit job. We are failing these kids. We're failing the administration. We're failing the fans. He basically said that after the press conference, that I hate it for our people. I hate it for our fans. I hate it for the student body, all that stuff. So he had his mea culpa. He has lied on the sword. But let's not mince words here. Mario Cristobal and his staff are not good enough right now. That's the bottom line. So you better change it. Change it with a quickness. This town is going to turn on your ass fast. Okay? Mario Cristobal next year ruined all patience. Be prepared, Mario, because they are going to pile on you next year if you show incompetence again. You better clean up this program for next year. You better go kick out half this team. You better go out and load it up on the NILs, on the transfer portal, and you better put together a much stronger, more responsible performance. That's all I'm telling you. I don't care how much money you're getting paid. You will be assaulted shortly. Okay? Your first month for next season will be a huge month in your career because it'll determine if you keep your fan base or you lose them and they start to say you're not the guy. That's what's going to happen. I can already tell you ahead of time. You better fix that shit for next year. And with the transfer portal and NIL, you know why I say this? You don't get 4 or 5 years anymore. You get 3. And next year, you better show that you're improving. And by year 3, you better show you're a top 25 team. Flirting with top 10. Because you don't need more than 3 classes, NILs, and transfer portals to be great. If you need more than 3, you might not be the right coach. If it takes you 4, 5, and 6, I mean, it's great if you can actually get there. But I don't believe with NIL, transfer portal, and recruiting, after 3 years of it, you should have more than enough to show like, okay, we're pretty damn good. Maybe not win a title. I'm not saying that, but go out and win 10 plus games. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. So he better do a lot of changes for next year, because at this point in time, he's not looking good. Devin Jordan, thank you for the love. Big O, I hate to say it, but Mario is a great recruiter, but average coach. So it's up to Mario now. That's I can't call you a great coach because I didn't see a great coach at Oregon. I think he did a very good job at Oregon, but not a great coach. Great recruiter, all that kind of stuff. He has yet to ever be a great coach. And it's not easy to be that. All right, 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. If you want to get in, 855-912-1056. And Jake Garcia, oh my God. We got Tate Martelled. We've been Tate Martelled with Jake Garcia. And a lot of you out there, oh my Lord. Please, come on. There's 600 of you. Admit it. Please, come on. Come on. A couple of you chime in. Say, I'm the idiot that thought Jake Garcia was better than Tyler Van Dyke. Yeah, come on. Say it at least. Admit it, because you know what's the funny part about that? You never saw the kid. You don't know anything about the kid. You didn't watch him in high school. How in the hell would you know how good he could be? Nobody knew. Nobody knew, not even after a couple stupid practices. I love how people try to make something out of a spring game all the time or something like that. Admit it. Come on. I know that there's 600 people here. There are some of you out there that were clamoring for Jake early on last year, early in the year, and over Tyler Van Dyke. Come on. Admit it. Say it. Come on. TVD doesn't suck. TVD is in the wrong system. And Josh Gaddis is a terrible coach. That's all I can tell you. The talent was recruited to be on a different system. Your quarterback was in a different system. He's not this kind of quarterback, but you're going to force him to be that. That's your fault. So you messed up with his confidence. You messed up with his game, and that was all terrible coaching. There was nothing wrong with TVD under Rhett Lashley. You know the guy who scored 70 points on Saturday? Rhett Lashley? 70 points? You know that one? Yeah, no, of course, it's TVD's fault. It's not the coaching. No, not at all. Those of you that think that TVD's the problem, I love that, man. That shows me that you really don't watch the games. It's like the whole Tua thing for 2 years. Oh, Tua this, Tua that. No, you idiots. It's the coaches. It's the talent. It's not Tua. There's nothing wrong with Tua, and there's nothing wrong with Tyler Van Dyke. But if you want to put him in your Michigan Josh Gaddis, Oregon offense, well, that's your effing problem, dude. That's not who he is. No, I don't care about the rank, Carlos. I don't care about where he was supposed to be drafted. That's the silliness that you guys get into. Okay? To me, I'm talking about the college football player that's supposed to be playing in a spread offense. And you now change him up. And then all of a sudden he struggles because you don't have the running game to go with the offense that you want. So then his play action is not going to work. And you're not putting more receivers out there and spreading things out like you did before. So you're not allowing him to use his talents. But if you want him to become a, traditional drop back type guy, that's not who he is. This is all coaching. why TVD has been ruined. And you can thank Josh Gaddis for that. Because he came in and said, we're running my offense and you guys are running my offense. And he failed, where he should have run more elements of the offense he inherited and then ease in his offense as he eases in his talent over the next year or two. But what do I know? I'm just a big mouth behind a mic that I just talk shit every day. That's all. What the hell do I know? I got it wrong, Garcia. I thought he was a clueless QB, but he really is a shrinking violet. He's really bad. You missed my super chat, sir. Let me see. I'm sorry. Did I? Leva, let me see. There it is. Lamar, Allen, and Fields all lit us up. Who won? Tired of your stack queens. This is a different era. Enjoy. That's a very good point. The running quarterbacks did not end up winning, did not end up passing their way to a victory. Very good. I like that. I'm glad you told me to go back to that super chat. True Fin fan. Very nice. Juice F5. Oh, how do you compare Al Golden's teams versus this team? Thank you, Juice F5, for the super chat. Dude, as much as I like Mario, I can't defend him. So this is as bad or worse than what I've seen in Golden and Diaz. What am I going to say? Because I like Mario? I could go hang out with Mario behind the scenes and say, yo, man, I like you a lot, but brother, I can't defend shit that's going on here. What the hell is going on? I would love to have a private conversation with him on that. Like, what the hell is going on? I am not here to defend Mario Cristobal at all. You know, I want him to succeed. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to give up on him whatsoever, but I can't defend it. I can't defend it. Nothing. And Josh Gaddis, like I told you, there's too many examples I have with Josh Gaddis that he has done a terrible job. All right, let's go to a man who does an exceptional job. See, Josh Gaddis wishes he was Alan Poupart. If he was as effective as a coach that Alan is as a writer, reporter, insider, then Josh Gaddis would really deserve that Broyles Award. But right now, I don't even know. I want Broyles Award. I don't know. I got the award I want to give him, I can't even say it on YouTube. How about that? Anyway, so let's get to a man that knows excellence. A man that Josh Gaddis should be following to figure out what excellence is all about. Alan Poupart and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
There he is. How you feeling? Josh Gaddis call you yet?
I haven't watched many UM games so far this season. I watched the first half Saturday night. Woo.
Good for you. Oh my God. Did you eat before that you watched that? Holy shit. I feel bad for you.
That was maybe the cause of my indigestion. Now that makes sense. Yeah, I was rough.
It's bad, right? It's bad. I mean, I like Mario a lot. I like Mario a lot, and I get excited because, you know, you've crossed paths with Javon Holland. And when you run into Javon Holland, you know he's a man and a half. He's one of those guys that's a pro on the field, a pro off the field. He's a guy you want representing your franchise. So you're like, holy shit, he's going to recruit guys like that. The U is in good shape. But I can't defend the coaching, bro. As much as I like Mario, and I think he will turn things around, but my man, wow, this season, there is nothing to defend. It is really, really embarrassing.
No, but you talk to people out in Oregon, and they'll tell you fabulous recruiter, but when it comes to X's and O's,
yeah,
little bit subpar.
Yeah. I mean, your boy Herbert did things in the Chargers that you're like, well, why didn't they ever do that over there at Oregon? They always had him running. And yeah, it was one of those things. I'm with you there. And they got a spread quarterback now. That's what I was talking about. People are ripping into TVD. And I'm like, it's not on him, dude. Lashley just put up 70 points on Saturday with SMU. You know, it's you got a spread quarterback, and all of a sudden now you want to make him a traditional drop back quarterback, and that's not his game. You should have kept elements of what made him good until you can get your own players in there to run your own system.
Yeah, he didn't forget how to play. And by the way, Herbert is not my boy, just like Andrew Van Ginkel isn't my boy, because even though
he's my boy.
I don't have any boys. I have players I like. I have players I don't like. Well, not really. I'm not a hater, but there's nobody who's like quote unquote my boy. Just for the record,
you're definitely not a hater. That's for sure. You've never been that.
I don't hate anybody.
Even with Tua, you were like, I need to see. I'm
Correct.
just not a believer yet.
And I told you before the season with this offense, he's going to produce, and he's producing.
Yeah, but you didn't really expect it to be this sweet, right?
Not from a Tua perspective. I didn't expect. First of all, I didn't know. I knew Tyreek Hill was good. He's much better than I ever imagined. I mean, the guy's been open the entire season, and I had high hopes for Mike McDaniel as a play designer, as an offensive schemer. Mm-hmm. He's also surpassed my expectations.
But Tua is seamless. I mean, it's beautiful to watch it. There's a rhythm to all of that.
It's so
fluidity.
It's so quarterback friendly, bro. I mean, let's be honest. He's playing great, and his numbers are off the charts. But look, let's accept it and understand it that the scheme is phenomenal. The wide receiver. Look at the game yesterday, and I challenge you to show me one really difficult throw that Tua had to make. Mind you, now he's making the throws that are there. But I mean, it's
the touchdown. The touchdown was an incredibly difficult throw. I went through 3 different windows.
Did you go through any windows? And did you ever done to Waddle where he just cut back in front of the defenders, where he's wide open?
When he came back, and that was a timing throw on that one, because there were DBs coming from both sides that he had to make sure he weaved it in there before those guys came in. Okay. Listen, the other day, I told you about a throw he threw between 4 guys, and you weren't impressed anyways. And there's Kurt Warner the next time going, that's one hell of a throw. That was in a second window that he did that. So, you know, it's all right.
It's okay. I don't say it.
You're not impressed.
Dude, I'm impressed by him getting the ball when to the receivers when they're open. I'm impressed and continue to be astounded by how consistently wide open those receivers are. I mean, holy smokes. They're like, It's like, okay, you need 3rd and 12, no problem. Tyreek just run me like a 15-yard out, and there's nobody within 3 yards of him. So, like I said, there's no disputing the numbers are outrageous. He's making pretty much most of the throws that he needs to make. But
which is not easy.
You what?
I think
quarterback friendly. It's very quarterback friendly.
I think the great ones make it look easier than what it is, because you put Teddy in the same offense, and there's no way he can make. You thought there wouldn't be. You remember when you said, "Oh, they're not going to miss a beat," which was a whole load of horse shit that you loaded on us. Oh, they won't miss a beat. Fuck yeah, they're going to miss a beat. Teddy Bridgewater in his dreams couldn't be half the quarterback that Tua is. He can't deliver like Tua does and read and react like Tua does. And so you must admit you were wrong when you said they weren't going to miss much with Teddy.
May I respond?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to respond with facts, okay? Number 1, Teddy played against the Jets. He played, first of all, he came into the game against Cincinnati with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter, okay? And then he played the rest of the second half. Do you know how many yards he threw for that game? 193. Extrapolate that over a game, that's over 300 yards. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, against the Jets, that can't count. He played 1 play before he got pulled out of the game. Then he came in, then he came in against Minnesota, I don't remember when it was, like first half, late first quarter, or maybe second quarter. Okay. After not taking any practice reps during the week, number one, and without Teron Armstead, number two, and the Dolphin offense still racked up a lot of yards and might have won that game. I had Jalen Waddle not fumbled in the fourth quarter. Okay. So what I had said was, hold on. What I had said was, you cannot make the comparison until Teddy Bridgewater has a full week of practice as the starter, and he has Teron Armstead in the lineup. And I will say again, there would not be a major drop-off in the production of the offense. You can't tell me, admit you're wrong when there has not been an apples-to-apples comparison yet.
Well, there'll never be an
apples-to-apples comparison. Bridgewater threw for 193 yards in a little more than a half.
Well, Bridgewater has never been explosive ever in his life. And in Minnesota, he had a running game, receivers, a tight end, an offensive line. He's never been in Minnesota or in New Orleans. He's always been a guy that can't even average 2 touchdowns a game, dude. No matter where he's been.
Before this year, dude, we're going to agree to disagree on this. You want to put Tua, you want to give him the MVP, go for it. I am just telling you, to me, it's more about the offense and the wide receivers and the scheme than it is about the quarterback. I'm sorry. Well, and if you ask me I wrote last week, Tyreek Hill belongs in the NFL MVP conversation, and he is without question the MVP of this team and nobody else.
Right. And so his numbers are more productive than they were in Kansas City, but it's all on Mike McDaniel, not on the guy pulling the trigger.
Now you're going to say Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes? Are you serious?
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying that Tua is freaking awesome. The part that you're leaving out is that Tua's freaking awesome, and you're not really coming to the facts that he is freaking awesome. And when you are awesome, you make things look easier than what they are. Okay. And yes, when they're wide open, it's because you're reading and reacting quickly. Doesn't mean that every other quarterback is going to see the same things at the same time.
You are more than welcome to have that opinion
at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
It's welcome to have that opinion.
You make it sound like every quarterback computes and reads the field the same way. Like if you were Justin Fields, you're going to have the same success as Tua reading and reacting when you're two different kinds of passers. You know, I don't understand.
No, that's fair. And he deserves credit for that. And he deserves credit for making quick decisions. Let's not pretend like he's making a bunch of really difficult throws. That's all I'm saying.
It's just that it's the Joe Montana thing. Well, no, it's Rice and Taylor. No, dude, he's really good. He puts it right where you need it all the freaking time.
Bottom line is they're winning and they're 6-3, and this is a very, very, very tiresome conversation. I'll be very honest with you. It's a very.
I know, but you know, we got to turn you over. I mean, after all, look at it. He's had 6 games this year. He's 6-0.
The team is 6-0 when he's starting. The team is 6-0. Okay,
that's right. And without him, they lose. That's pretty elementary, my dear Watson.
Well, again, there are other factors. They didn't have Teron Armstead for a game and 3 quarters. They also caught a break. If we're going to be honest about it, you're not going to tell me they weren't lucky that they didn't call the DPI at the end of the game when it was a clear DPI, which was a game that they could have lost. And again, this just to show you how stupid the one-loss record is.
They knocked out Teddy Bridgewater.
Dude, you're not going to let me bro, let me talk, man. Let me talk. I'm going to make the point of how, if you're going to do everything based on one-loss record, how stupid it is. Hey, if they call the DPI and the Bears go in and score a touchdown and win the game 39-35, you're going to say Tua had a bad game because he was 0-1? No, he didn't have a bad game. He had a very good game. But that's why it's like Zach Wilson now is 4-1. It's not 6-0 like Tua, but it's 4-1. Are you going to tell me he's having a great year at quarterback? Or he's riding a really good defense?
But he's not the reason why the offense flows. Tua is.
No. The speed of wide receiver and the scheme is the biggest reason the offense flows. And you want to say Tua, go for it. That's fine. We can agree to disagree.
This is the only quarterback in the NFL that doesn't get any credit for what goes on with the team. It's absolutely fantastic.
Who's not giving him credit? I said he's having a good year.
You're giving it all to the receivers.
I am fighting back against you.
You're making it sound like any schmuck. You're making it sound like any schmuck can be a quarterback in this offense. That's what you're making it sound like.
I'm going to say that most quarterbacks in the NFL would have success in the offense the way it's on right now. Okay. A lot of them would not have it to the degree that Tua is having because he's having a very, very good season. It's a perfect marriage of scheme, assets, and your quarterback without question. But you're making it sound like it's all Tua, and this is where I fight back. It's not.
Well, yeah, of course I am, because for 25 years, they can never find a guy that can stir the drink. So all of a sudden, it's not easy to find that guy. Alan, I'm not sure why you're overlooking this. That you make it sound like this team has not gone through 87 quarterbacks since Dan Marino. And just not anybody. You've had good offensive coordinators. You've had some good running games. You've had some good receivers at times. And it's never put together. Why? Because, my God, you're missing the guy that throws the effing ball every single time in the equation. You can have Ricky, but if you don't have the quarterback, it doesn't help. You can have the unicorn on the offensive line and the guy running what's the Clemson kid with the one knee? What's his name? Jay Ajayi. You can have him kicking ass. If you don't have the guy taking the snaps, it doesn't work out. I'm just like, huh?
Boise State, Jay Ajayi, not Clemson.
Boise State, whatever. So, it's just like you can have all of that, but if you don't have that guy, then you got to do the Wildcat because you don't have that guy. So you make it sound.
Again, I don't agree with you. And again, we will not know. We will not know unless there's a situation where I said we have an apples to apples, and I hope it doesn't happen because the Dolphins are rolling right now. Okay, and I hope it doesn't happen, but that's the only way we would know. And by the way, if you're going to talk about like they've never had good, Chad Pennington was tied for second in the NFL MVP voting in 2008. Okay, just for the record.
What was that again?
Chad Pennington was tied for second in the NFL MVP voting in 2008. You're basically saying they've had shit quarterback after shit quarterback, and for the most part, you're right.
Dude, what was Chad Pennington? What was Chad Pennington?
He was second in the NFL MVP voting in 2008.
I know, but as a quarterback,
who benefited from a great offense around him, kind of like the quarterback this year, who is having a great season.
No,
very well might get MVP votes.
Yeah, but you're not comparing it's not even close to two quarterbacks. Chad Pennington barely had an arm, and all he did was that he didn't throw interceptions. I mean, it was he had pedestrian numbers, dude. It was like 18, 19 touchdowns. He had like 3, I think, interceptions. It was
a different year.
Yeah, it was all about running and their defense and all that. It wasn't really about the quarterback. This is a team now that the offense is the one bailing out the defense now. The philosophies have changed for the Dolphins.
It against Pembroke. It did the last 2 weeks.
20 plus years, it's been the defense bailing them out. Now it's an offense, and it's because that guy that takes the snap is, running a seamless offense. And I think you're taking it for granted what he does, bro. I really do. I think it's kind of an insult that you think anybody would have the same kind of success that Tua is having right now.
Again, that's not what I said. I said it's a QB friendly. Bro.
Yeah, but this is Tua. What are you showing me there?
This is Tua also.
Is that Tua? What is that?
Tua, look.
What's he got, a baseball hat? What the hell is that? Oh, wow. Where'd you get that one? Would they give you that one?
I'll never tell. What I am saying is that it's a QB-friendly system that where right now they have the perfect QB to make it operate, and Tua is having a great, fabulous year. But if you want me to say it's all about Tua, to me, no, it's not all about Tua. It's about the wide receiver, that stupid speed they have outside, and the scheme that gets at least one receiver completely wide open on practically every play.
Let's see. Topher, by the way, sends in a super chat during our conversation. Says Tua has been top 2 in the NFL tight window throws these past 2 seasons. Now that he has wide receivers who get separation, people are crying.
Who's crying? Jesus Christ.
You're crying.
I'm crying. Yeah. Let's see.
By the way, another fun fact for you.
Go ahead.
Tua has played in 6 games. He's won all 6 games.
The Dolphins have won all 6 games. And no, he's played in 7
You can
games.
look at it however you want. Justin Herbert has played 8 games and only won 5.
He plays for the Chargers and Tua plays for the Dolphins. Zach Wilson's 4-1. Again, seriously, spare me with that one-loss record. I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it. It's not entirely part of it. And Tua, again, has played in 7 games. He's started and finished 6 games. He's played in 7 games. And he's been excellent. Big O. Okay?
That's right.
He's been excellent. The Dolphins are not Tua and then everybody else. If that's what you want me to say, that's not going to happen. Sorry.
It's Tua's team, bro.
Okay, fine.
It's just Tua's team.
Fine.
You know, you don't want to admit it, but that's fine. All right, now, one more thing before I let you go. I find we now have elitist Dolphin fans. I don't know where they came from, but they act like they've had winning seasons for the last 10 years and that their teams and all this. And so now they were insulted by how bad the defense played. And yeah, they played bad, but Justin Fields, it's funny how we can laugh at Tyreek Hill making people look stupid all the time. But then we get pissed off if Lamar Jackson makes us look stupid, if Josh Allen makes us look stupid, or if Pat Mahomes or Justin Fields. And yesterday, you just got to like tip your hat to that kid, because I don't know if it was a coming of Jesus type of game, because that's his game right there. Those legs and then use the arm to complement it. I thought he was just amazing yesterday. And sometimes you just got to tip your hat, because you know they were killing Boyer on my DMs and timeline, and I even took pictures and I showed that guys were around him. They were there to make plays. It was like Rocky. He couldn't catch the chicken, and sometimes that's just what it is, bro. You got to give Justin Fields a little love yesterday. He was awesome yesterday. You agree or disagree on the criticism?
No, I'm actually speechless.
Is the criticism too much of the defense? Sometimes you got to credit the other guy, is what my point is.
No, it's like somebody once said, they get paid too. No, he was absolutely phenomenal. And it wasn't just the running. The touchdown pass to Mooney he threw was a beautiful throw. Because he did beat X, but it wasn't like he completely left him in the dust. And he put it where only Mooney can catch it. And the best throw of the game by any, maybe the best throw I saw in the entire NFL yesterday was the 4th down incompletion, the last play of the game, where he's rolling. You're gonna argue with me on that? Of course you're gonna argue with me, because it's not a Tua throw. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's the DM it's the super chat.
Sorry
for you. It's
but
hilarious.
The fourth down pass that fell incomplete to clinch the win. Watch the replay of that pass. It's on the move, sidearm, and he just put it right past X, who actually had decent coverage. I mean, an absolute gem. And then his wide receiver flubs it.
He dropped it. He dropped it.
Completely flubbed it. But I mean, well, no, he impressed the hell out of me. And
he
like
played.
you said, no, it just tip your hat up to him. And rushing a guy like that, people are talking about not only 2 sacks, and one of them was after a scramble. Not easy to rush a quarterback like that, because you always have to be conscious of, if I go past him, this guy's going to, step up in the pocket and then scramble for 50 yards.
He was amazing. Got to give him love yesterday. It sucked, but because he drove that defense crazy, but he was a stud yesterday. Pat in Asheville sent in a super chat. First of all, thank you, Pat, for the super chat. And it says, Poupart wouldn't give Tua credit if he saved kids from a house fire. The house was built to code.
That's funny, but then again, people have a very, very, very difficult time with reading comprehension or oral comprehension. When I said, all I am doing is I've said, I don't know how many times I've said that Tua is having a great year and predicting that he will get MVP vote. All I'm doing is I'm saying it's not all Tua. That's all. But that's not good enough for a lot of Dolphin fans, and so be it.
Jesus. That was good. That was funny. That was a good one right there. All right, what are you working on?
It's exhausting, actually. Seriously.
By the way, the Mike McDaniel time management thing. He's a rookie coach.
That was rough.
But the last couple of weeks have been some moments there that he's got to check himself a little bit more there on time management. That I will say. I can nitpick a little bit there.
No, they got awfully casual there at the end of the first half. I think they got to like the 20 or something. They ran a play with Mostert, and all of a sudden it was like really slow to snap the ball. Then they got a too many men in the huddle penalty, and all of a sudden you've gone from like 50 seconds to 18, and it's like, whoa, what?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And early fourth, they were just giving up their timeouts like nothing. And I just and then last week also there was some mismanagement of the clock too at the same time. He's got to get a little bit better, with that overall. But they're really, I mean, I personally for me, dude, I tell Dolphin Nation, you're 6-3, bro. You haven't been 6-3 in forever. Shut the hell up. Enjoy this ride. You got two very winnable games over the next 2 weeks. And then that 4-game stretch, you mentioned it earlier, and I told you not yet. But if he wins 3 of those 4 games, the Bills,
if the Dolphins
Packers, win. The Dolphins and Tua. If they win 3 of those 4, Packers, Bills, who the hell else is there in those 4?
49ers, Chargers.
49ers, Chargers. He wins 3 of those 4. He's in the MVP conversation. Yay or nay?
No, I've already told you he's going to get MVP votes. Like, again, to me, Tyreek Hill's the team MVP, but I know how it works, and then it's all about the quarterback. So, yeah, yep. The Dolphins, go 3-1 in that stretch. Yes, he will get MVP votes.
All right, Frank Reich fired by the Colts. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
how about that?
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't know if it's entirely all his fault. I know Ballard used to be one of the best GMs. I mean, I would marvel every year at the amount of talent he would bring in, and that's gone.
You know what this tells me, right? Sorry? He's the guy that wanted the last 2 quarterbacks, and they got his quarterbacks, and one choked last year, and then this has been a failure, and they said, dude, you're out of here. That's what I think. Because Ballard's not fired, right? Did they fire the GM? They didn't fire the GM, right?
I doubt it.
Right. So if they're keeping the coach, that tells me that maybe they're pissed off that the quarterback thing has not gone well with him.
Yeah, but in all fairness, if you remember, it wasn't that long ago the Colts had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and now it's shit.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to decipher.
Oh no, I hear you. I hear you. No, that makes sense. And I mean, it's a hot mess. I mean, literally, it's things are bad when you're benching Matt Ryan for Sam Erlinger. I mean, no offense to Sam Erlinger, but
yeah. No, you're right about that. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and catch his work there at alldolphins.com. Remember, you must be the only way you're an official Dolphins fan is by bookmarking alldolphins.com. Alan, as always, appreciate you. Switch that Montreal cap to a Tua cap the next time around.
That's funny. All right, have a good one.
You got it. That is Alan Poupart and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. There we go. We head down the stretch to get a little fantasy football. You got your fantasy football season going on right now. Send in your questions. We will have Andy Behrens at the top of the hour. Alf says 243 yards rushing, 33 points. New England 240 yards rushing, 29 points. Dallas 252 yards rushing, 32 points. MIA. Yep. I'm just amazed that he won't give Tua any love. I just love how it's almost like anybody can do this. SCE Home Theater on the super chat says the need to be right with this poo-poo guy is unbelievable. Laughing my effing ass off. Oh, it's awesome. I'm still laughing at Pat in Asheville. That was pretty freaking awesome. That was a great one. We'll get him. We'll turn Poupart around eventually. William says, being a Kentucky football and basketball fan since birth, I've always hated anything Alabama. It's kind of funny. I'm walking around with a previous Bama QB jersey now. Tua works miracles. LOL. Dolphin 13 says, on those 2 fourth down conversions, which they failed on, you better believe Tua will be studying what and how they could have picked up that first down. He's the student of the game. Listen, and remember the one to Smythe at the end of the game, you could tell Tua knew that it was going to be off. And apparently what happened was Smythe looked away and Tua thought he was in the middle of the motion. And as Smythe looked away and he thought he was going to turn upfield. And so that's why he kind of like held back on the throw a little bit. And then it ended up being off because he wasn't sure if he was ready for the throw or not. So he couldn't make the throw, or if not, he maybe, puts it over to him and they're able to complete it. And so there was a miscommunication there, and it was really more Smythe's fault really than Tua. He kind of forced it. The one for Tua was, the deep ball to Waddle that he tried to put a touch pass because he wanted to make sure he didn't overthrow. So it's just one of those things that you're trying to be perfect and lay it out right there. And he just floated it a little too much. He had to put a little more juice on it and lead him to it. You do have a fast receiver, lead him. But I get what he was trying to do. And, man, nobody's perfect. But it's funny how the guy played an awesome game, right? And then you got like the extremists out there, and they're just like leaning on those 2 passes. One which wasn't his fault. But overall, he did more than enough. When your quarterback takes you on scoring drives 6 of 9 times, you score 5 because the 6th one was a missed field goal. That's not his fault. One of our guys that's a loyal listener, we love him, but he's an obvious Tua hater, Steve M. He was like, well, they can't put him, Tua can't put people away. And it's like, yo, dude, he can't kick field goals for people. He can't tackle and catch Justin Fields and stuff. Defense is going to have to do their job at one point or another. And by the way, down the stretch, they did make a couple of stops to help out. The defense, while they struggled, they did find ways to make some plays at the end of that game. It's a team win. It's a road win. Enjoy it, man. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Get your fantasy football questions ready. You can send them in right now on the chat board. They won't disappear now. I can see them. You can send them in on the Welt and Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Best way to get those questions in is on the Welt and Rayom text line. And, of course, on Twitter at Big O Show. Sean Stanley mastering this program. We take a break. Hour number 3 is next.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt and Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane, Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. PPR, draft, keeper, dynasty. It's the Sports Grill, Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Andy Behrens.
All righty, there he is, Andy Behrens, the man that is ready to declare Tua Tagovailoa as the #1 fantasy QB in all of fantasy football. Correct?
You just saw Justin Fields play the game of football, and you're asking me about Tua. Like, no, literally no one's talking about Tua after that game. Come on now, like, Tua's great. He's wonderful.
He was awesome yesterday. Fields was amazing, dude. God,
but. I mean, come on. Fields is about as good as it gets, dual threat wise. He's a gift. I'm riding hot. Like the Bears are in this weird, funky year where the wins and losses don't matter so much. In fact, it's probably a little bit better to lose and improve draft position. But I'm ecstatic that my team has a quarterback. And obviously you guys are feeling the same way. Like that was a perfectly good loss. That's about as good as a loss can get in the NFL. When your quarterback levels up to that extent, like we've already seen Justin Fields, like, the week before he ran for 60 yards, the week before that 82, the week before that 88, right? Like he's put up huge rushing totals. We know that now that the designed runs are part of the Bears game plan, that he's going to be a thing for fantasy for the rest of the season. It was just good to see, like he made some throws too. And he was much better than his receivers, right? Like there were several plays where he put the ball on the hands of his receivers and they didn't make plays. I don't know. I'm ecstatic right now. Like I'm really thrilled with the way Fields played. And now he's got to try. I'm sorry. You tried to take this in the direction of Tua and I immediately took it in the direction of Fields, but he's got Detroit coming up.
I'm glad you're bringing it up because I have a lot of fans that are, Dolphin fans that are, I don't know, they've kind of turned elitist when they've had a shitty team for 20 years. All of a sudden they think, and it's like they were beyond like the defense. Oh my God, how terrible they were yesterday. And it's like, dude, it's not that they were terrible. It's just that Justin Fields, just like Tyreek, just like Derrick Henry, there are some athletes that are going to make people look stupid. Yeah. And that's what Lamar Jackson does. And that's what Justin Fields did yesterday. He just made people look stupid. It was kind of a coming of Jesus game for him. He kind of figured out the happy medium of the run and the pass for him, and it was really working beautifully yesterday.
Yeah, you could see a blow up game coming. I mean, there's reasons that Miami fans can point to and feel like maybe the defense isn't where it needs to be. But what are you going to do? How many teams are going to stop? Like, go back and watch Justin Fields last season in the San Francisco game. Like, that was a pretty good defense. They couldn't lay a hand on him when he had like the run of the year last year against the Niners, and he just delivered one of the runs of the year against Miami. Like, it's just going to happen sometimes. He's really good. He's really fast. it's not that different from, like when he takes off, it's not that different from Tyreek, honestly. Like he's really good.
Right.
I'd still put him behind Lamar in terms of rushing ability among quarterbacks, but he's really close. He's probably in the same tier, and he's now on pace for like 1,100 rushing yards. Anyway, he's got the Lions coming up, and he's got Atlanta, so he's going to blow up against those teams too. As to your original question, which feels like it was a million years ago, sorry about that. Like Tua is pretty clearly like, I don't know, is he a top 5 fantasy quarterback rest of the season? Probably. He's just got to stay healthy. His receivers are great. He was super accurate. That was good to see. Like everything about this situation is ideal. It's fantasy wise, it's better if the defense isn't just some shutdown unit that holds everyone to 13 points, right? Like it's nice to see him in shootouts. Tua's been really good, and Tyreek, like this is almost a year, and you guys will probably make the case for Tua as an MVP candidate. We can make the case for Patrick Mahomes, for Jalen Hurts, a handful of other guys.
Not yet. I'm saying that they have a stretch coming up after the next 2 games that are winnable, Cleveland and Houston.
Yeah.
Then they have a stretch of San Francisco, Buffalo, Green Bay, and one more. Oh, and the Chargers. If he wins 3 of those 4, then I think they put him in that MVP conversation. Not yet.
Well,
not yet.
You know what I was going to say?
The injury screwed him up. If he would have stayed and he would have won those 3 games or 2 of those 3, he's 8-1, 9-0. Then they're talking about it. But right.
What I was going to say is that if ever there was a year, where a non-quarterback might sneak into the MVP discussion, and of course everybody remembers that it took Cooper Kupp leading the league in everything last year to even get his name mentioned alongside Brady, Rodgers, Burrow, like everybody else that was in the conversation. Like Tyreek should be in that conversation. Like he has changed that team in a more dramatic way, I would say, than Tua has elevated that team. Like Tyreek has changed that team. He's already at 1,000 yards. Like we should be having a will Tyreek be the first receiver to reach 2,000 yards conversation. That is totally in play. I don't think he's going to get MVP discussion, but he should probably be in it. Like we might as well just call it the best quarterback award if we can't even mention Tyreek's name in this conversation because he's there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, if you have fantasy football questions, let's go. Send them in on the chat board. I'll be looking here on the YouTube chat board. And then, of course, on the Welt and Realm text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Tino is in New Mexico. He says, I have Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. Both are horrible. Looking for a better option. Slim pickings in my league. Justin Fields is available. Should I pick him up? And who should I drop?
I mean, just to be brutally honest here, like Justin Fields would have been the recommendation a couple weeks ago. Like again, like you just saw the best game that Justin Fields has had, but he's had a bunch of really good games leading up to this, and he's untouchable as a runner. So you should have dropped Aaron Rodgers for Justin Fields a week ago. Like I get holding on to Aaron Rodgers for the Detroit matchup because on paper it's about as good as it gets. Totally understand it. You got to drop him now. He just played. I don't know if that was the worst game of his career, but it's the worst game like in memory for Aaron Rodgers, right? And it might be the injury that he's playing through, the thumb thing, because he underthrew a ton of balls. Didn't look like himself. Hit a defensive player in the head. This is just a bad game, and it's been a bad season. He's got a terrible receiving core. He's got a receiving core that's no better than the Bears' receiving core, right? And in fact, arguably the Bears is a little bit better right now. So that's not even a conversation. Aaron Rodgers is a drop. He's been a drop for a while. I feel like Derek Carr is still going to have a handful of games because he's the guy who gets to throw to Devontae Adams. I'd rather have Derek Carr than Aaron Rodgers rest of season, but obviously I would rather have Justin Fields. And that is, I'm a Bears homer, but I'm really good about separating myself from the Bears. And in fact, when things are going bad for the Bears, I'm probably more negative about that team than anyone you'll find. Again, Justin Fields has Detroit coming up, and then he's got Atlanta. And those are the two friendliest matchups for quarterbacks, for passers, for offensive players. It's as good as it gets. So yes, you're going to be starting Justin Fields rest of season, probably.
All right. Let's see. Jeff Wilson or Mostert, Gabe is asking.
I mean, you guys saw it. Like that's probably pretty close to a 50-50 split, right? Especially for Wilson to just show up and get that workload. Obviously, it helps that he knows everything that Mike McDaniel is going to do. It was a perfect fit. I thought he was, a week ago, I was saying that I thought he was a low-key winner at the trade deadline because he went from a situation where he was absolutely buried in San Francisco to what I thought was being like one Raheem Mostert injury away from being fantasy relevant again. And it turns out he's just fantasy relevant again. So it's probably going to be maddening because there are going to be Mostert weeks and there's going to be Wilson weeks. It's going to be very, like, if this is really a 50-50 split as it appears to be, I mean, again, Wilson came in and played like, I think it was 48% of the snaps. So this is going to be a spin the wheel situation. I still think Mostert is good physically. Mostert is unlike a whole lot of guys in the league. So I might lean there on a week to week basis, but Jeff Wilson is a really good receiving back, really good player, knows the offense very well. And he was having some games for the Niners before the McCaffrey trade. So these are both good players. It's kind of a nightmare situation fantasy wise if you actually have both on the roster, because I'm sure that you just thought that Wilson was going to be the backup to Mostert and you had yourself covered, and now you don't. So now it turns out that, you can throw them both on the trade block and see if anybody comes for one of them.
What's your prediction? Jason is asking for Cordarrelle Patterson moving on. Can he be a good bench depth for me?
Yeah, bench depth. I mean, wow. Cordarrelle Patterson's good. Like, I don't know. He had an Earl Campbell touchdown yesterday, right? Where he just stuck his head down and plowed through a guy, knocked him to the ground, and then fell into the end zone. Like, Cordarrelle Patterson's great. He started the season with like touchdowns in 3 of his first 4 games, a couple of 100-yard games. And then he's on a team that just wants to run the ball. Remember, we're just a couple weeks removed from Atlanta throwing the ball 13 times in a game that they lost by 3 scores. Like, all they want to do is run. And Patterson is now, I mean, it's weird. We haven't seen a lot of stories like this. He's a kick returner who didn't become a running back until he was 30. But he's good at it. Like, he's really, really good. I'm surprised that he's a guy on the bench for you. Like, for most teams, you'd be flexing Cordarrelle Patterson at the very least. He'd be your RB2. I think he's a very solid RB2 rest of season.
Jeff in Long Island is asking Stafford or Geno or pick up Watson going forward.
Yeah, Geno and pick up Watson. That was going to be.
You massage this answer for us.
Oh, that's just terrible. Well, I hope it has a happy ending for your fantasy team.
So do we.
The Watson situation. Yeah, I thought I was going to talk about Deshaun Watson when the other guy with Rodgers and Derek Carr on the roster wrote in, because I didn't think Fields would still be available in any competitive fantasy league. But Watson is the other guy who's out there right now. He's out there in about 75% of Yahoo leagues, and he probably needs to be added because he's going to play in week 13. As soon as he's eligible to play, he's going to play.
All right. I have Burrow on bye this week. Pick up Dalton, Mariota, Goff, Lawrence, or Heineke.
The problem for Heineke, and he's been a fun story, but he faces Philadelphia, and that's a brutal matchup. I'm gonna lean Goff here because he gets the Bears defense that you guys just saw. And granted, a lot of that was Tua and Tyreek and Waddle. The Bears have traded Quinn, they traded Roquan. Like, they weren't a good defense to start the year, and they deliberately made themselves worse. So that's a very friendly matchup, and this Chicago-Detroit game has shootout written all over it. So I'm gonna lean Goff if he's available.
All right. Kells is asking Aaron Jones, Gabe Davis. Well, Aaron just got injured. Gabe Davis, and Miles Sanders.
Yeah, my answer to this one is going to be Miles Sanders. It's close with Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is a little bit of the superstar Gabe Davis that we've seen a couple times this season, and he's a little bit the guy that we just saw this last week where he had a chance to make a huge play for Buffalo and didn't pull a ball in, right? Like, he's not an unusually gifted actual like catcher of the football, but he's fun in other ways. So he's going to be a boom bust guy. I like the idea of flexing him, but I would play Sanders here. Yeah, the deal with Jones is, hey, it's Monday. We don't really know yet, but Jones left the stadium in a walking boot in week 9, and it doesn't look good.
So Kylan Hill, does he become a guy that if you have a bye week or do you, if the Jones injury becomes something serious and you need a handcuff now as an option, does Kylan Hill become an option at all, or is this more of a deep league type of thing?
It is a deep league type of thing. I've already written the pickups column for this week, most of it pending whatever happens on Monday night. And Kylan Hill was kind of an also ran, right? Pretty good player. I think it was Mississippi State, right?
Yes.
Like pretty good collegiate player. Just returned to the Packers. I think he only had one touch on in the debacle against Detroit. But I do expect to see him in some sort of rotational role. But I think it's fair to say that AJ Dillon is probably going to take over for whatever length of time Jones is going to be out. And he might not be out at all. This might just be like a low ankle situation, and he's able to play through it, or he misses a game or something like that. It might not be that bad. I don't want to really alarm people, but yeah, Hill for a week could get interesting in deep leagues.
Josh Palmer for the rest of the season. What are your thoughts? They're asking.
I don't like Josh Palmer, at least for like 4 weeks is going to be a good play. I don't know that we can go deeper into the season than that because, who can read this Keenan Allen situation? We thought he was going to be back after the bye, and his injury got worse during the bye. Somehow he's like the first player ever to experience that. So like Keenan Allen is nowhere in sight. Mike Williams is probably still at least 3 weeks away. So you got a month in which Josh Palmer is going to be a thing. I don't think he's a spectacular talent necessarily, but he's going to draw double-digit targets each week, and
right.
Justin Herbert is certainly good enough to support a couple of startable fantasy receivers. So I think not only is Josh Palmer is more interesting than DeAndre Carter, but DeAndre Carter is probably going to have a game or two along the way as well.
Well, they're asking, should I be, Joey Vasquez is asking, should I be concerned about Justin Herbert, and who can I pick up for insurance?
Again, I don't know who's available in your league. Obviously, if Fields is available, that would be the guy. This week, the guys that you'd pick up as insurance that are widely available right now, it's like Garoppolo, it's Goff, it's Heineke, it's Daniel Jones. They're certainly no better than Justin Herbert. And at least Justin Herbert gets to throw to Austin Eckler. Gerald Everett's been a little bit of a thing. He is going to get his primary receivers back at some point. So in most leagues, I feel like you would just roll with Herbert unless somebody truly exceptional and unusual is out there like Fields.
Okay. Isaiah Spiller, has he now become the handcuff to Austin Eckler because it looks like he may have skipped over Sony Michel? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was Michelle before. It was Josh Kelly before that, and they really buzzed about Josh Kelly. So like when Kelly comes back from injury, I'm not sure it's Spiller. I wasn't a huge Spiller fan coming into the league. I really think that if Josh Kelly can get right, it's probably going to be him down the road. But sure, if you want to ditch Michelle for Spiller, it's not going to affect anything. It's not going to hurt anything. Certainly, if something were to happen to Eckler, Spiller would get a significant number of touches. I don't know that he would step right into what Eckler's doing. I doubt that. But he's fine. I don't have a lot of enthusiasm for him. He wasn't my guy.
I know. Stafford or Lawrence next week being asked.
That is just gross. I don't know if I want to pick either one of these guys. Man, it might be Trevor Lawrence. I might actually lean Trevor Lawrence there. I find it very difficult to trust Matthew Stafford right now. Because that's not like the version of the Bucs defense that just held him down hasn't been great. Like the Bucs haven't been world beaters defensively this season. Obviously, they still have some players, but they haven't been, this has not been the dominant Bucs defense that you're used to. And I don't know. Lawrence is going to find himself in a game against Kansas City in which he's probably going to have to chase points. It should be at the very least a friendly fantasy game script. It's not going to surprise me if he finishes with like a pick and 2 touchdowns and 260 yards, something like that. And that would just be a dream game from Matthew Stafford at this point, because if they don't get it from Cooper Kupp, it just simply doesn't happen for them. So I'd probably lean Lawrence.
All right. Monday night tonight, what do you got? Ravens Saints. Well, what should fantasy players be hanging their hat on tonight?
Yeah, the biggest thing to watch by far is what we get from the Ravens receiving core, because there's no Rashad Bateman, right? And Mark Andrews missed every minute of practice this week. It'd be, not going to go in this game. Isaiah Likely kind of blew up a week ago. That was really exciting to see, because he was he had a perfect preseason, right? Caught all of his targets. He was great in the preseason. So Isaiah Likely's pretty interesting. Do we get a little something from James Prochet? What does Devin Duvernay do? Can DeMarcus Robinson even play? He had a groin injury earlier in the week. So a lot of question marks in that receiving core. Didn't really make a fantasy splash at the trade deadline, right? They could still be players for Odell. But the look of that receiving core and the distribution of targets is probably the biggest thing I'm watching.
All right. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Andy Behrens. What are you doing at Yahoo for the rest of the week to get folks ready for week, 10, right? Yeah,
week 10 already, if you can believe that. Yeah, I've got recommended waiver wire pickups coming out tomorrow. The thing is already written. We have a waiver wire podcast that I'm recording with Matt Harmon in just a couple hours here on the Yahoo Fantasy Football Forecast. So check those out.
There you go. Andy, as always, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up next week there. May the big wins be yours, my friend. And just
love talking to you, Big O. Good luck to everybody.
You're the best. Thank you. There you go. The great Andy Behrens. All right, give us a couple minutes. We'll fix the technical snafu, and we'll be right back on the Big O Radio Show.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. I hope we're fixed there. I think we got the situation under control. There we go. I probably did something and screwed it up or whatever and messed it up for my man Sean. It definitely wasn't Sean. It's probably me because, I'm always the goofball that's in the way. So thank you all out there for hanging in there, and thank you for participating in the segment. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Pulisic says, yes, it's not all on Tua, true, but that can't be said for every damn QB ever, but it's got to be pointed out when it's Tua, it's Tua. Then you wonder why there's Tua on. Well, and That's why the conversation was interesting with Poupart, because I just laugh how we go over 20 years without a quarterback that can actually get it done. And you finally get one, and then you're going to give everybody else credit. It's just too funny, man. You know? I don't know. It just I'll definitely disagree with Poupart on that one. I get it, man. You know, I'm Mr. Two and On, and I'm blinded by it, and I don't see what everybody else sees and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, I don't know, but Tua keeps proving me more right than those people. But whatever, bro. You know, it's almost like he's just got to prove that he can win. Okay, great. And now he's got to prove that he's great. And so then it will take a little bit more for people like Poupart to say, yeah, no, there's a system and there's a coach, but that dude's a badass. Like 4th and 7, is that the system? 3rd and 22, is that the system? Down by 21 points on the road. Is that the system? I just, something tells me that the Dolphins are down by 21 against the Ravens, and Alan Poupart thinks that Teddy Bridgewater is going to bring him back the same way that Tua did. No, sorry. You can forget about that. But that's all right, man. In a short amount of time, he's proven a lot of people wrong. And over a longer period of time, he will prove other people right. Okay? And that's what's going to end up happening. He's going to prove other people right. And they're going to say, well, oh, yeah, he is a franchise quarterback. Yeah, he is a stud. Yeah, he is the guy. He is the straw that stirs the drink. It's just going to take time. And in a short amount of time, you've already proven certain people wrong. You will continue to the point where we won't get Poupart to ever say again, no, it's the system. No, forget that. It's that guy. It'll happen. It will happen. Matt Geiger says, I predicted this year when Tua was successful, we would hear all about only because of Hill and Waddle talk. No, and Mike McDaniel now. Dan B says, I tried to find out any new info on Josh Allen's elbow injury. Couldn't find anything. Any word on your end? Wondering if he's going to miss the game against the Vikings. Have no idea. Don't know. We'll find out, my brother. Dan B, it's not something you need to lose sleep for and wonder about on a Monday. We'll find out by Friday or Saturday where he stands. No big deal. Bottom line is Dolphins and Tua take care of business at Buffalo. And the rest is history. Don't worry about what other teams are doing, Dan. Doesn't matter. If the Dolphins go out and take care of business, everything will fall into place for them. Go out and beat Houston, go out and beat Cleveland this week. And now you got that 4-game stretch where the Chargers game isn't nearly as difficult. The Green Bay game isn't as difficult. You got at San Fran and at Buffalo. Those are going to be 2 really difficult games, 2 really good defenses, and 2 challenges out there. That'll be fun. Take care of business. Everything else falls into place. You don't have to worry about a damn thing. Besides, Sean and I already have a house in Phoenix, Arizona. We're ready to go, dude. We're ready for Super Bowl week. Oh, man. You kidding me? Poupart was given the same excuses for Teddy and Skyler that everyone said. Doesn't matter. Tua should make everyone better. He does. Big O, offensive systems have always been built around a QB strength, vice versa. West Coast, Montana, Young, K-Gun, Kelly, Run and Shoot, Moon, etc. I guess those guys weren't that good too. Yep, George, that's exactly it. Because that's why I threw the Montana thing in there. Oh, yeah, no, he's got Rice and Taylor. No, dude, he's deadly accurate. It's what he is. Deadly accurate. I'm telling you, Tua could cure cancer, and they would say, yeah, but he didn't cure Alzheimer's. William Youngblood, you are on target, my friend. Ray Sosa says, I don't know what games Poupart was watching. Those games Tua was out. The offense struggled to put up 20 points, yet somehow it doesn't miss a beat when Tua's out there, Alan Poupart. I know. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I don't know what Alan or anybody that can say that is watching. When he plays, there's an enormous difference in the offense when Tua's playing compared to Teddy or Skyler. It's not even close. I don't understand why we keep trying guys like Poupart, Skip, and Cowturd will never be flipped. It's sad, and Tua will suffer the consequences of having elite players at receivers. It's sad. No, it's not. It's happiness night. They're 6-3. They got a shot to go to the playoffs, and who knows? Maybe they make a big noise in the playoffs. So there's not a goddamn thing that's sad night. Are you a Dolphins fan? Because I am. Last time I checked, they're 6-3. Let the haters hate. Let the doubters doubt. Who gives a shit? It's our team. It's the team you and I have been rooting for years, decades, half a century, depending on how long you've been around. We love the team. They're winning, aren't they? They've won 3 in a row, right? They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They've got the best receiving core in the NFL. They got a bright mind on offense. Are the Dolphins perfect? Far from it. But, man, they're fun. They can win. And as crazy as the NFL is right now, there are no dominant teams. There are no teams that I'm looking at. Even the Eagles that undefeated, I don't look at them as you can't defeat them. Everyone is defeatable. That's what I feel. So, my brother, don't look at anything as a negative. Let the people that want to live in negativity, let them live in negativity, dude. Your team is 6-3. Doesn't get better than that. You've lost your quarterback for 3 games. You lost those games. You've won all the other ones. It can't get better than that. Sure, we could have won the games that Tua wasn't playing, but that's just not in the cards. This team's not that good. It's not like they have a second quarterback that can, whatever Poupart wants to believe, that's not the reality. Every quarterback that follows Tua is going to miss a beat. You know why? Because every quarterback that's ever been here since Marino is nowhere near Tua. Not Pennington, not Fiedler, not Farrat. That's it, right? Those are like the best 3, or Tannehill. Those are the best 4 quarterbacks you've had here since Marino, and none of those guys come even close to Tua. And I love Poupart, but what Pennington did was played really smart football, super efficient football. Did not turn over the ball, but never gave you an offense that you could go out there and actually win games. You needed that defense. You needed the running game. You needed to play a perfect game. The Dolphins don't even play perfect, and they win. They fall behind by 21. They fall at 4th and 7. They struggle against Detroit in the first half. They can't catch Justin Fields for 4 quarters, and they still win. So everything is great, dude. Everything is fan-freaking-tastic. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Don't listen to the national idiots that don't follow the team and don't know. Most of the people that are on the national, let me just go. All of the people that are national, they don't know half of what I know, half of what I forgot about this team. And they don't have a better feel for this team than I do. So why are we going to listen to people nationally that aren't here that don't really have the insight on what's going on inside that building, on the practice field, on the field. Don't pay attention to them. It's good. Stuff is good right now. Dolphins are doing well. You should enjoy it. You deserve it. That's the most important part. Remember that. Don't allow anybody to take this enjoyment away from you. Don't let anybody cloud it. Don't let anybody put some negativity on it. Okay? Enjoy the hell out of this. You've earned this. You deserve this. You've hung in there for years, for decades. You've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for the next guy after Marino, and we've never seen it. We've never had it, ever. First time. And no matter what our guy Poupart says, everybody can't do this. In fact, most people can't do what Tua's doing. Those are the facts. So why are you going to let people bring you down? You've been waiting for this for years. I told you already for weeks, right? Stop living in the past. Get on the bandwagon. Enjoy the moment. Man, come on. They got a great shot at being 7-3 after this week. And then you go into a bye week, you got time to maybe heal up. Maybe you get Austin Jackson back. By the time you come back, you had some depth on the offensive line, and then you move on to the next game, which is the Houston Texans, and you're sitting there at 8-3. You are 5 games over 500 at that point. And let me tell you something. I think if you win those 2 games over the next 3 weeks and you're 8-3, I think you're going to be sitting on top of the AFC East. I think the other teams are going to end up suffering a loss or 2 along the way. The Patriots aren't any threat whatsoever. The Jets will fall by the wayside eventually. Buffalo's the one you got to catch. And you're going to have your opportunity. You're already right there with wins. Now you just got to take care of business on your own. And the rest is history. Enjoy this, man. You deserve it. Dr. Quist or Quit? Something like, or Quiet? Is that Dr. Quiet is what I think it says there. Big O, I've been listening to certain people struggle to explain what they are seeing what they're seeing with Tua. The only thing these idiots can say is Waddle and Tyreek are getting so open. It's so easy for Tua. Just weird stuff, man. Weird stuff. What can I tell you? Weird stuff. What else? Do we really care what Skip? Oh yeah, I don't listen to any of that stuff. Big O, some can't see Tua as legit QB because they are size queens and want Tua to have a cannon. Did we not learn our lesson with Marino versus Montana? Well, we're old enough to experience that. It's a problem. But younger people are old enough to experience Breeze. So why not the same correlation? Even though I think he's Montana. That's what I think. Tua's Montana. Not Steve Young. That's lazy. That's only because they're both lefties. Steve Young was a running quarterback. He ran like a running back. He had a bulldog mentality. Tua does have a bulldog mentality, but he doesn't have the athleticism of Steve Young. He's Montana. He's a pure pocket passer that if he has to run, it's out of desperation, but it's not something that he really needs to do. That's Montana. And clutch and money and accurate and all that. That's what Tua is. Tua is a lefty Montana. That's what I compare him to. Miguel says, I'm savoring all the wins. Doesn't matter how you win, just win. That's it, man. That's it. JN says, I haven't been able to watch the national media ESPN NFL network since I started watching this show. Thank you, Jan. It's very nice of you. Flattering. Thank you. But we do know more about the Dolphins than they ever will. So it's a whole different ballgame. If Teddy could do what Tua's doing, he would not be here. He would be starting in San Francisco or New England. Poop. That take is ridiculous. If people thought that Teddy was that special, you are correct. They would make him a franchise quarterback somewhere else. But he is not special, and that's why he's a special person, not a special quarterback. Because he is a great dude. God, he is awesome. Great human being, man. James Jones, only other Dolphin QBs with 2 games in a season with 300 yards passing, 70% completion, and 3 touchdowns was Marino, and he won MVP that year. The team you saw yesterday goes nowhere in a playoff game. Yep, that's right, Roxy. You're right. And where's Buffalo going a playoff game after losing to the Jets? Just checking. Just wondering. If you're going nowhere in a victory on the road, where are you going when you lose to the Jets? Just checking. What's your definition of that? I don't know. King Koopa says the first 3 years of Drew Brees' career, he struggled a little as a matter of fact. No, he was terrible and was benched. And at one time, until he was right in the right system, he began to break records in New Orleans. You know, we've talked about this many times, King Koopa. Maybe you're kind of new, but you, sir, are 1,000% right. And I've talked about that many times. Many, many times. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo because we get 100%. Obviously, we love the super chats here on YouTube, but YouTube takes 30% of it. Here we get 100%. And on Venmo, thank you, Steve Croup. He says Tua finished 2021 with a 7-1 record. No Hill, no McDaniels, worst O-line in the NFL. So speed and offensive scheme seem not to be a valid point. I know, Steve, but why put in the facts that Tua had a winning record with shit talent and shit coaching? And now that he's absolutely kicking ass for better coaching and talent, it's got to be them, not him. You are correct, sir. Excellent Venmo right there, my man. That is very nice of you, Steve. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you on that Venmo. Strong, strong, strong by Steve Croup. William Young has sent me Bitcoin. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. That is very nice. Very nice, my man. Very nice. I appreciate that. Sending me a little Bitcoin. I like it. I like it. I like it. There we go. Nothing wrong with a little bit. Those, as you all know, that's my favorite donation of all is when folks are able to send a little Bitcoin to the show. I'm a big Bitcoin proponent. Although the FTX thing, folks, just a quick little crypto thing, and I've been telling you this for a couple months. You know, I had a friend of mine now that just called me about, forgot some. Oh, it was OK Coin. They took off Star Atlas. You can't buy it there anymore. So he's like, yo, what's going on? I go, I don't know. You know, what's going on, why they took it off, but you should not have it on the exchange. Move it off. And, you know, I'm telling you, well, with Star Atlas, you can move it over on Exodus. Or there's other cold wallets. But look what's going on right now with FTX crypto. FTX crypto may have some serious problems. They could be insolvent. If you have your crypto on FTX, get it off. Get a Nano, get a Exodus, get a cold storage wallet. Get it off. Do not keep your crypto on crypto.com, on Binance, on FTX. Any crypto exchange, do not get it off. I mean, get it off of there and put it in cold storage. Because The crypto industry could be taking a big hit with FTX. It may not be the FTX arena for very long for the Miami Heat, put it that way. Be careful. Big O, I'm always puzzled with some of our fans every time they complain about the national media. Stop watching the garbage and support your local platform. Exactly. Support your worldwide platform, sir, because we got Dolphin fans worldwide. Okay? We got Heat fans worldwide, Canes fans worldwide, Inter Miami fans worldwide, Panther fans worldwide, 3 or 4 Marlins fans in the world. So we want to take care of everybody out there. Colts naming Jeff Saturday as their interim coach per Schefter. For real? No way. No, that's too funny. Oh my God, it is true. The Colts are naming long-term center and Super Bowl champion Jeff Saturday as their interim head coach. That's hilarious. Wow. Oh, man. Whew. Okay. That's an interesting one there. Phil Neville, by the way, signed a contract extension with Inter Miami. Well-deserved. Nice job by them. Katie Meyer has been suspended by the NCAA for 3 games. I read Michelle Kaufman's article. We don't know exactly what went on, but apparently she will be back after a 3-game suspension. Interesting. Because Katie Meyer she's amazing, dude. She's awesome. Must have been some kind of mistake or something, because that woman does not ever come off as anybody that would, cheat or cut corners or anything like that. She's as legit and as hardworking, at least in my eyes, as can be. But must have been some kind of mistake, because she is going to miss 3 games and she's going to be back. So it must not be something really serious. Must have been some kind of thing that was overlooked or whatever. You never know. Panthers beat the Ducks yesterday 5-3. Reinhardt with 2 goals. For Hagee, the guy's got big balls, 1 goal and 1 assist. Knight had 32 saves. They've got Carolina on Wednesday. And then the Heat lost to the Pacers on Friday, and tonight they take on Portland. Miami favored by 7. We stunk it up with the Dolphins and the Canes in our A. Lenny Locksmith lockdown segment. Well, why don't we do that? Let's get to our lockdown segment right now.
Time to lock it down. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
Friday, we took the Dolphins yesterday, -4. They won by 3. So, unfortunately, we end up on the short end of the stick there, and it's not good. We are now 46, 41, and 4. We're just 5 games over 500. We had like a 13, 14 game over 500 record for a while, and it's just been dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And I apologize. I have just not been giving myself any smart investment advice lately, at least not consistently. It's been very inconsistent. Well, today, the Miami Heat are favored by 7 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Over and unders 215.5. Portland -275 on the money line, and Miami is +230 on the money line. Portland is actually 3-1 on the road. Miami is 3-3 at home. And I got to tell you something. I don't think Miami, or the way they're playing, they're in a position to actually give anybody 7 points. So I'm going to go with Dame Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers tonight, +7. At, for now, FTX Arena. Okay? And I know that Dame Lillard is questionable against the Heat with a quad, but I'm gonna with a calf strain, I think it is. But I'm gonna say that he's gonna play, and I'm gonna ride with the Portland Trail Blazers +7. That, my friends, is our A. Lenny Locksmith lockdown segment.
The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
Jeff Saturday, the new head coach of the Colts. Wow. Oh, God. What's the down low on FTX? Get your coins off the exchange. Put them in a cold storage wallet. Apparently, they have the funds, the Alameda, which is kind of their company arm, their balance sheet is mostly FTT tokens. And they really don't have dollars behind it. And that's the problem right now. So they are involved in all kinds of stuff that, until, and here's the worst part about it. This has been going on for a couple days now, that the same guy that exposed Celsius and said, hey, Celsius people, you're in trouble. Be careful. And sure enough, Celsius went down. It's the same guy that's kind of exposed what's going on with FTX. And the worst part that's happened, now I've been on the show for 3 hours, so I don't know exactly, I'm not following everything going on in the crypto world at the moment. But the worst part about what's been going on the last couple of days that we've been finding out about all this mess with FTX is Sam Bankman-Fried has not talked. Again, I don't know if he addressed the situation over the last couple of hours because it's been brewing over the weekend since Friday or Thursday night or something. And all weekend, and really crypto's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you got, like, when people put out something wrong about Cardano or they're inaccurate or whatever, Charles is right out there crushing that shit. CZ from Binance, he will crush your ass if you say something wrong about Binance or misinformation, and he's out there representing his company right away. Crypto.com, they've also been very upfront about anything that goes on. They're right up front telling people what's going on. Sam Bankman-Fried has kind of disappeared for a couple of days. To me, that's kind of nervous. I'd be nervous. So for those of you that are Heat fans and you got into crypto and you don't know a lot about this and all that kind of stuff, and crypto's the future, but you got to be careful with some of the companies that are involved in all of this because they may not be doing all the responsible things behind the scenes. But the beauty of crypto is you're the one in charge. It's your keys. It's your crypto. If you're putting it anywhere where you don't have keys to it, that's not your crypto. So if you have any crypto on FTX, that's my suggestion. Get it out of there. I told you about Voyager before it went down. The Celsius thing came out. We had the Terra Luna thing. But, FTX is a big exchange. And there's a lot of people. Now, the only good thing that I see in crypto right now is that most of the people that are still in crypto right now are the hardcore people. The people that kind of understand this more than the average person. So I don't think there's a lot of average retail that's tied to it, but the few that is, probably have their monies on exchange. Get it off the exchange. Get it off the exchange. Oh, yeah. Give me a second here. Oh. No? I'm trying to open my my safe here that I have. But anyway, is it? Oh well. Anyway, I was going to show you a hard wallet now. Now can't open the safe. I'll open it later at this point in time. But you should get a hard wallet, a cold wallet to move all your stuff. Okay? I'm just telling you, you got to find a way to be responsible with this thing, because if not, so be careful with the FTX thing. The media still thinks Tua sucks. Oh, some guys. Jeff Saturday was coaching his high school down the street from where I live, and I had no idea. It's pronounced Dacula, Georgia, like Dracula, but without the R. Well, that's how I pronounced it, Dacula. So I got it right. Coinbase on the stock market, they are here to stay. They are working with BlackRock, etc., unless institutions fall. Lofi, do not keep your stuff on Coinbase. I don't care. I don't care what Coinbase has lost their ass, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but this last quarter, they must have lost like $200 million or something like that. Do not keep any crypto on any exchange. Not Coinbase, not Crypto.com, not Binance, not FTX, none. Okay? Not OKCoin, none. Buy your crypto, move it off. Move it to your cold wallet. Move it to your nano wallet or whatever you want to use. There's all kinds of different wallets. I use Tezos. That's what I was going to show you. I mean, kind of have it. Where is it? Where's my Tezos thing? I was here. Oh, well. Anyway, so the Tezos is another one that I like, and use the what is it, T1, I think it is, or M1 or whatever it is, the more expensive one, because that one has more coins that you can store, including Cardano. So I don't know if you're a Cardano person, but like Cardano isn't on the lower level Tezos. Get the higher level one. Has more. Tezos, good cold wallet. Go to that. Trezor. I'm sorry. Trezor is a good cold wallet. Okay. Trezor and Exodus work together. And Exodus will allow you to work it online. And then Trezor, you can just keep everything on your cold storage there. So that's a good one. Nano is another one that a lot of people use. So those are all options for you. But if you have your money on FTX, get it off FTX. Okay. Wide receiver quality matters. C. Rodgers and Herbert. QB quality matters. C. McLaurin, Pittman, DJ Moore. Finns have both. Not that hard to figure out. Poupart. Yeah, but you can still succeed. You can still have success with other players, and that shows. Like Tua did win more than he lost the first 2 years. That's the part that we can't leave out. And he didn't have great weapons, but he found ways to win games still. Had we not lost those 3 games, we wouldn't have reconfirmed Tua as a franchise QB. Tua might not thought it is as important to get rid of the ball. Hey, man, everything happens for a reason, I guess. Yesterday, watching him throw it away was awesome. I got excited. How silly is that? I got excited when he threw it away. Like the week before that he slid twice and he threw away one. I was like, damn, dude, he's doing it. Yes. Yes. It's awesome. If he can do that, I know he's going to have a great career. I just know it. I believe in the kid. But if he doesn't take care of himself, he won't make it to year 7. Pretty simple. Because he doesn't have the body to get concussed over and over and over and over and over again. That's ridiculous. All right, we are out of here. Let's thank Ira Winderman, Alan Poupart, and Andy Behrens. If you missed any of those segments, you can rewind right here on YouTube. Sean Stanley will be like he'll get that Ginsu knife out and he'll cut up the show, put up the interviews and some rants and all that good stuff for YouTube listeners. And on audio, obviously, we always slice and dice the show there on audio. Before you leave, please smash the like button. Very important that you hit that like button and get it going for us. It gets the algorithms going. It gets the show out to more Dolphin and Heat fans and Canes fans and Marlins fans, Inter, Panther fans all over the world. So help us grow. Visit our sponsors. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.